Hello.
Hello and welcome to Nuns
and Knights.
You do look like a knight. You do. You need the.
I wish I had a chain mesh.
Yeah, chain. I couldn't think of it. What's wrong with me?
I wear chain mesh sweaters sometimes.
By the way, it's gonna be one of those days where I can't remember anything.
Why?
Because I had a dentist and I got my implant finished this morning.
Okay.
I got an implant.
What's
Not
that
here, where they should be. Here.
What's that have to do with memory?
Well, I'm tired and I get anxiety from the dentist, so I can't sleep the night before. I hate the dentist.
Why don't you go to what was his name? Dr. Baldino?
He wasn't a dentist.
He's also a dentist.
But I'd let him in my mouth.
In your neighborhood, he does both. They're like, are you here for Dr. Baldino the dentist or Dr. Baldino the physician? He's the same guy. So he's double booked.
God, he's so hot.
I want him on the
Anybody in
show.
South Philly watching this, I'm telling you, I don't even know if he's still alive. But anybody in South Philadelphia would be like, oh, yeah, Baltino. So hot.
I hope he gets in touch with us.
We'll see. I'll reach out. I can find some family members. I know a lot of his family.
You look like
Edith Beale?
a nun on the run.
How dare you?
I won't reveal where I live because I don't want my adoring fans to track me down.
Right.
But I walk near. It's not like we drive to walk a place sometimes, and it's
yeah. I do that a lot.
A retired nunnery is like right where we walk.
Are you serious?
I swear.
That's so funny.
And so it's like this sprawling like campus.
So if you walk by with that, like an ally,
you just see like these old women. They're partying hard. They're doing coke, drinking.
Of course.
Fucking.
Because they've given up so much.
They're allowed once they hit retirement.
Yeah.
They're out there like just,
that should be the plan.
They're out there just like picking lemons.
God bless them, and cooking or baking.
We trick or treated in that neighborhood, and they like waved us in, and we're like, wait, we go, and like, so we had to walk down this like long driveway.
Why are you afraid of nuns?
I don't know, it's just weird.
Is this a Jewish thing?
No, kind of.
Okay.
I didn't know if I could touch them.
Why would you touch them?
They kept saying, "Touch me, my brother." I was like, all right.
My brother, feel these breasts.
So we went and trick or
you.
treated. They loved baby Barb.
Okay, I believe that.
And they're like, oh, and I don't think no one went there, so they were giving her like a million ton of candy, like just take it all. They just like kept
Barb's like, I hit the jackpot.
They kept talking to us to the point of like, oh, you know, we got to keep it moving here. Let's see you guys. I think they're just stuck in there by themselves.
There's a little, I forget the name of it, but it's in the Laurel Canyon. It's in the hills in Laurel Canyon, and they make like pumpkin bread and like all kinds of treats like that. It's so good. And I went and I bought, Steve Simone taught me about it. In the hills, is that it? Pumpkin bread. Oh, you're just bringing up Sweet Laurel. Is that the name of it? L.A. Nuns for pumpkin bread salvation. I'll bite their faces.
It's all made of the communion wafer, right?
Yeah. No, it's the body of Christ.
Is the pumpkin bread? That's what it's
mixed
called?
With pumpkin seeds.
You say, guys, some of the body of Christ, please.
It's the Monastery of the Angels.
Yes,
Ooh.
but it's really Steve Simone taught me about it.
It's really a donut shop. It has nothing to do. It has nothing to do with God.
Everyone in there is so nice. The last time I was there, it was before Thanksgiving. I think I got them, and I went. Yeah, I went, and they were like, you got to go early because there's a line. I was like, okay. And I did. I was so excited. And I went, and it was nobody there.
You're like, is this over?
But
Hello?
they were like, there was a big truck that pulled up, and they were putting a bunch in there. And they were like, do you have an order? Like, you could tell they were like flustered, and maybe I missed the rush just by a little bit.
Does the money go to charity, or is it?
Either that or the monastery. I don't know. I don't
know
if it's
like,
local
were they
or
wearing
what.
Nice clothes, like leather
It was
jackets?
a cute priest that came down from San Francisco, and he was like, I'm just helping out during the busy season.
Oh, so they're just exclusively into the bakery.
Yeah,
They've gotten away from what their mission was.
I don't know.
You're like, wait,
their
is he allowed?
mission is to find pumpkin seeds.
Are you saying pumpkin?
All right. If this is going to be a day.
The word is spelled
trick or treat or pump your kin.
Philly spelling Punkin apostrophe pumpkin. Wait, are you punkin?
You don't eat pumpkin bread.
Why are you calling me a pumpkin?
Okay, say it right. Pumpkin.
You don't pronounce all that, but it's pumpkin.
Pumpkin.
Yeah, there you go.
Pumpkin.
I'm with you on pumpkin. I think
Thank
it should be
you.
a pumpkin.
It's a pumpkin seed.
It should be pumpkin.
Pumpkin's when you do a play on words.
You want to carve a pumpkin?
Throw some water on it.
Let's go pumpkin carving.
The monastery. Look at that. Look at all that.
Good. Look at that. Look at all that pumpkin bread.
Look at all the
pies.
space. All the space for the bread. What is that? General Tso's chicken?
I think it's brittle.
Oh, brittle.
It's like maybe
General
pralines.
Tso's.
Can you trick or treat here and just get some fucking praline
Every
thrown in your
week.
bag?
Just go. Yeah.
Well, how are the prices? Are they raking you?
I
or
know
are they
it was pretty
good.
Yeah, I bought a couple of them. I even bought one for John from the Comedy Store, our podcast
did he
producer
like it?
over there.
Yeah.
And he was like, "I don't eat pumpkin bread," and I was like, "Well, you do today." He was like,
Did he try it?
"I have a stomach problem." I'm like, "Enjoy it."
He told me he reversed his stomach. I have the same problem. He said he reversed it.
I believe he did, but maybe after that pumpkin bread, I might have
Maybe
set
that
him
was the
back
last.
a little bit.
Could have been the last straw.
Pumpkin bread. Now I'm gonna hear myself saying it.
Pumpkin. It's
God
your tooth.
damn it!
It's the implant.
My tooth.
They implanted
It's
you.
all the way in the back.
It's implanted with you with a tooth from Philadelphia.
Oh God, I have a. They screwed it in. It's terrifying. Don't do it, people.
Oh, your teeth.
Stay away from the candy.
Don't eat the praline.
Ooh. Let's talk about what today's podcast is. This is very exciting because you did not know any of this.
I knew. I went into this completely blind.
And now you're
Now I'm
in a hat.
now
the way.
I'm a knight.
You've been knight at Grey Gardens.
I've been knighted by the filth, dilapidated. We watched Grey Gardens. It's on HBO Max, probably some other places. I got it on HBO
I think
Max.
you could get it on YouTube. I think it's everywhere because it really was popular.
Because my parents
Knew about it?
They go to Florida.
Oh.
They snowbird now.
Oh, that's right. It's that time.
But they shut off their HBO Max, which means for like 3-4 months I'm out of HBO Max.
Oh my God, that is so bad.
Nothing worse than being this age where you're like, you guys want to come back?
Wait.
Some good shows going right
Guys, there's a lot of docs on there. Wait,
now.
so you get their HBO Max?
Oh, yeah.
It is annoying,
My
though.
cable is cobbled together through like a team of about 8 to 10 people.
I believe it.
Hulu from over here. You got you have various dealers.
I believe it. It's a lot of streaming dealers out there. But my thing is this, even if you get like some kind of bizarro compilation of all these streaming, it's a pain in the ass.
Well, they're like, hey, we don't want
Can
you
we
guys.
just go back to cable?
No, they were like, we don't want you to pay for everything, but now you're paying for everything just individually.
everything. You're. I still have cable because I'm elderly, like regular
Same.
cable.
Same.
You do?
Courtney
Good.
Courtney watches too much random. She's like a Bravo head, so.
Oh, see, I don't. Now I think it's wasted on me. 'Cause the only other channels I watch are ESPN or like if there's basketball, things like that.
Yeah, same.
They say it's on Hulu, I think.
But ESPN is streaming, but my experience with their streaming is it was terrible.
100%.
Very glitchy.
So I was like, forget it. I'm keeping my cable, and then I watch HBO. I hate commercials. Turner Classic
Oh, I
Movies.
love commercials. They're so good. I've hated commercials my whole life.
My mom mutes them.
There's some people. Some
here
people
they
love
go.
them. Like the Super Bowl people are like, "Oh, that's so
absolutely
funny."
not.
There's never been a funny commercial in really the history of commercials.
My brothers, I think you're right. But my brothers will disagree.
It's funny for a commercial. It's not funny alone.
Right. Okay. Like my brother Billy and his son, they kind of make fun of the commercials, so they kind of bond over
Oh,
that.
they Beavis and Butthead.
It's like silly. It's like, oh, I got a bike. This is ridiculous. Some kind of insurance.
You guys got a
commercial.
boner for 4 hours?
Some kind of insurance commercial that they love. I forget what it is.
Geico?
Maybe. It's like, all I got was a bike, and he wanted insurance or something. I don't know. It's really
They're
dumb.
like, this guy's Mr. Mayhem.
Then
Watch
they
this.
Oh, yeah. I like him.
Or
though.
Pedro Serrano from Major League.
Oh, yeah.
Allstate.
That's right. That's
How
right.
about, what's the guy? J.K. Simmons was doing those for him. I was like, why are these big name celebrities are now
Huge.
doing
My mom always does
commercials?
that. She'll watch a commercial and she'll go, why is she in it? Couldn't give it to you?
Now they have really poached the lower like the commercial actors are.
Coming up?
They're like, sorry, Samuel L. Jackson wants this one. You're out.
That's so annoying.
George Clooney, like,
Sam, Charles, and Spike Lee do a lot.
John Cena does voiceover for like every commercial now.
Oh, my God. Spread the wealth.
Yeah, seriously.
By the way, I passed on the way here because the writer's strike is going on.
Yeah.
And I passed the studio, and there was about 8 strikers.
That's it, just 8?
8, and I beeped, and they didn't even turn. Don't you know anything about unions, you little shit? You're on strike, you beep, you turn around and you wave, yeah!
I'm available to scab, ladies and gentlemen. I am a writer. If you need me, hit me up. danishthemayor@gmail.com.
Don't say that because...
Just kidding, allegedly.
I can't allegedly be friends with you.
Why?
I don't like
you're
scabs.
you're a big union person. You're
No fucking scabs.
You killed
No
Hoffa.
scabs, man. You fucking right we did. I mean, no, we didn't. It wasn't me.
He's buried in
I'm
Philly.
a fake Irish,
He's
remember?
buried under a pumpkin patch somewhere in Philly.
Where'd they put Hoffa? In the pumpkin patch.
Do you guys have haunted houses in Philadelphia?
Of course we do. One is in a
all year round.
yeah, that's true. But in a penitentiary, in Center City,
Like
my niece.
a working penitentiary?
Nah, it hasn't been working for years.
Got it.
But it. By the way, they should bring it back. We need help. We got a lot to put in there, but. It's been empty for years. I'm sorry, that's awful. It's been empty for a long time, and I guess they've done this haunted house for a very long time, like longer than I've been alive. And my mom went, and she took all of us. Like I wasn't born yet, but my brother Billy was the baby. He's older than me, and so look at it's amazing. It's so cool. My niece was working in this for a while. It's terrifying in this fucking place.
Halloween festival of epic proportions.
Oh, yeah. And so they go, you can't bring the baby in there. My mom goes, okay, can you hold him? And she went through.
Jesus. Some guy in a Freddy Krueger outfit. He's like, oh, I guess. He's like, I'm kind of working here. I got a chainsaw in my hand.
Everybody's like, Billy's a little retarded. I'm like, well, they left him.
He was left at the gates of the penitentiary. That's dedication to wanting to see a haunted house. Where you're like, whether he's here or not at the end.
What?
A lot of what your mom's parenting is like, I got a lot of kids, and if I lose 2, 3, I'm still good.
It was the 70s. She didn't give a shit.
It was like, they'll come back to me.
Yeah,
It's boomerang parenting.
Be there in a minute. Relax.
She's inside.
Calm
like,
down.
They're like, Mom, we should hurry up. She's like, take your time. It's
But
fine.
it was scary. The worst one that we ever went to was in Atlantic City, New Jersey. It was called Brigantine Castle. Terrifying. Worse than the prison.
I don't think I would go to any. I don't like that. I don't like. People,
I don't like it either.
People
But
invade your space.
we got kicked out of Brigantine Castle because my dad took us, and look at that thing. My dad took us, and they would get real close to you.
Yeah, there's no space. They really touch you. They really get in.
Yeah,
Get up on you.
So at this point I was like inside my father because we walked through this hallway and it had like rat tails.
What, like the haircuts?
It's
That is haunted. You're like, these guys are gonna mug us. Get out of here.
Like you hear rats and then you feel like and you're like, oh. So I literally climbed up my father.
How old? You're a child at this time?
At this, I'm maybe 6, 7.
This isn't like last year.
No, at this point my dad probably left, so I was probably 8 or 9.
He's like, guys, I'm gonna
my
make it
dad
up
was
to
out
you.
of the house. This is one thing we would do.
I'm gonna take you to something that's gonna.
So I climbed
you.
him. I'm standing on his shoulders, right? And I'm sure Edie and Bobby are with me. And Charlie and Johnny are a little older, and Billy is probably hanging on my father as well. But Charlie and Johnny were walking ahead of us, and this guy comes out with like a hatchet, and he got like this close to Charlie, and Charlie just fucking knocked him out.
He punched him.
Oh, and then it turned into a brawl.
What?
In Brigantine Castle.
The brawl at Brigantine Castle
We
with
got
the
kicked
Kerrigans?
out.
They're like, you guys are banned. You're scarier than the workers. Look at
It
this
was
guy.
awful. It was scary. They would come like this close.
We're watching an ad for it, I think, on local.
Charlie's had some interesting. Brigantine. I'm also pronouncing it wrong. Look.
Nothing scarier than a mine.
No, but he would break the fourth wall. Ew! Ew!
And other living things.
No.
Of dungeons and torture chambers.
I see your dad. Your dad's dragging a typewriter.
It's not still there, right?
2 miles north of Atlantic City.
Yeah, Brigantine.
It's no longer there.
Oh, they shut it down after the brawl.
After the Kerrigans went
They're like,
in there.
there's real blood on the walls. We're done.
My brother Charlie's had some bizarro jobs, and he worked as a, I guess he was working as a janitor at a hospital.
Okay.
And it was right in South Philly called the Methodist Hospital. And one of his friends worked in a different department, and they were pushing like dead bodies to the basement, the mortuary, right? So Charlie was walking with him. He was gonna put the body in the thing, and then
Why is a janitor pushing bodies?
no, Charlie wasn't pushing. The guy was pushing.
Got it.
Charlie was just walking with him.
You
Then
get
they
it.
were gonna go outside and smoke a cigarette. Like that was, his buddy. So they're at work, and he's pushing a thing, and they were talking, and the body sat up, and Charlie fucking knocked it out because it scared him, and he literally goes like this. I go, what? He goes, fuck her. She sat up. I go, it was Charlie.
It's a woman? Assault on a deceased woman?
If he's home, I could call him.
The
and make him
Kerrigans.
tell the story.
You guys
I
have problems.
was crying. He goes, the guy he was walking with, he goes, I've been working here for years. That happens a lot, and it's weird, but nobody has ever responded the way you responded. What the fuck is wrong with
Why
you?
did the Kerrigans punch first?
We
Ask
don't
questions.
understand. It's immediate reaction
Jesus.
first, and then we'll talk about
Don't
it.
see a scary movie with a Kerrigan punch you in the face.
Charlie knocked out an old lady who was
Knocked
already
out, she's dead. He knocked her back to death.
I go, do you put her in your, like, I knocked her out, I knocked him out? Like, is she on your list?
Did he hurt his hand on her face?
No. Poor old lady.
Open casket. They had to give her some makeup. Jesus.
She has a black eye for the viewing.
At one of these places, I think it was Universal, Courtney went, and she was, I think, a teenager. And this guy, like a werewolf, was, like, wouldn't leave, like,
Yeah.
followed her out. She ran out of whatever she was in, and the guy followed her for like a long time. And she went to a security guard, like, and the guy's like, you're good. And then the guy was like just breathing on her neck, going like,
Ew.
and she's like, please get this guy away from me. And then I think eventually the guy left. And it was like, there's
But
no
the security
rules.
guard,
No,
nothing?
he's just like, yeah, this is how it is. Welcome, welcome aboard.
Oh,
Thanks for paying to get in.
shit.
Try the pumpkin bread.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Halloween episode.
Whatever. Yeah, it shouldn't be a Halloween. I don't know what got us into this,
It's
but it
because
is.
we're watching a
We're-
spooky documentary.
It is a
We're
spooky.
talking about a haunted house.
It is. It is a
It's
spooky.
haunted by Edie.
Spooky Well, actually, I found out it's haunted by somebody else, but I don't know if I should jump ahead to that.
This is all you've done a lot of extensive outside research. That was not in the documentary.
Well, because I watched the movie as soon as we heard about the movie, we watched that first. And
Who's we?
my family.
Okay.
My brother Tommy, my mom,
And you
my sister
said
Kathleen.
your mom's
we
an-
were obsessed.
Your mom's and Edith.
My mom's name's Edie and my little sister's name's Edie. So,
So
Big
just-
Edie and Little Edie.
Just
shout
like
outs.
just like these two.
Yes.
Is that why you love it so much?
Well, also because Jessica Lange in the movie, she would be like, Edie! And so if my sister Kathleen was upstairs, she would be like, Edie! Like just yelling to try to get my
Did
little
it make you
sister's
guys
attention.
feel good that even the rich lived kind of like you?
Yes. That's not funny, but yes. Yeah, I see what you're saying, you piece of shit, but yes. I literally, because it's like, you think, oh my God, these people are royalty. They were having coming out parties. Like, I never heard of that. Never heard of that. Like, that's Texas, like debutante, like things like, that
This
doesn't
is
make
like,
sense
but this
to me.
is northeastern.
Right,
royalty.
but it doesn't even make sense to me. I don't know.
Me neither.
Well, I mean, our coming out parties were
Where's-
different. Look at her. Look at her. Ew. Sitting in that. She's so funny. I mean, it's sad, but funny. Because she was obviously
Oh, there's a lot of mental illness.
abusive.
There's mental illness.
But she was abused.
Who?
She was
Edie?
Edie.
Little Edie?
Little Edie.
Yeah, the mother
She was
very
manipulated by the
mother
mother
very
completely.
very but they were very codependent. They both needed each other.
They were both codependent and they needed people.
I think the daughter
but
had
the mother kept her life going and the daughter
The
was
m-
not.
the mother was like feeding a vampire like off the daughter to survive basically.
Yeah. Oh,
she's-
shit. Look at that. These are other rooms in the house.
I would not go in this house, would you?
No, but I'll tell you why. Because one of the longtime, I'll skip ahead a little bit, one of the longtime boyfriends of the mother,
Which
Logan.
I don't get how there's any boyfriends.
Well, because,
Although I'll say
by
this.
the way, I'm single, and Edith Beale with the bat arms of I don't even know what.
She
the
had
bingo arms.
flying squirrel. She could jump off a building and fly for at least.
She could
a
have been in
while.
a Marvel movie
Oh,
and needed no cape. She would have
She
just
had-
been.
Hulk Hogan, he claimed he had 24-inch pythons. These were 48. These things,
Easily.
but like when she sat,
But
would
the
like
other way.
would all like go down towards the elbow. Very fascinating to see.
And she would stretch, and the cameraman would zoom in. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, she would go up and do
But
like
her
wrist
tits
exercises.
were like tucked into her underwear because they were real long. At
Nope,
that
no
point.
brassiers.
No brassiere.
On
They're
either
not
of them.
big. They're not big on the brassieres.
Oh, they're big flabby boobies, but they
Yeah.
weren't big on brassiere wear.
They got big floppy tits.
I
but
haven't worn a girdle since I was 12.
I haven't worn a girdle since I was 12. I love how she would get so angry that she would like lose her breath.
Oh, she would get the mom gets heated.
Edith, I told you, get up there and stop that singing. And
But
she would just chase
But
her.
the mom you could easily avoid because she was not very mobile.
Right, she wasn't quick.
You could just
except
leave
for
the-
that one scene. She did get up to hit her with
With
when
the-
she was singing.
The bamboo cane. Tried to cane her.
Jeez. It was so good.
So I kind of looked this up because the documentary really gives you no information. Like, there's not a lot of information.
There really isn't, and I think it's because initially it was supposed to be a show, or something following Jackie Onassis.
So yeah, I think these directors went here in like 1970, like the 70s. The filming of this is 1975.
Yeah,
But they went here for another project. That project got canceled. Something
because
happened.
of Jackie, didn't want to be a part
So
of
then
it.
these guys were like, wait, we got some gold here. We got
And they
some
were
talent.
like, you guys were the stars. And she's like, we were?
And I read,
Poor
'cause
thing.
there's been a lot of backlash since of like, were these mentally ill people taken advantage of?
Oh.
And the director's like, well, we paid them. And they're like, in documentary world, that's like a big no-no because you shouldn't pay. Because
Right.
they said they really needed the money.
But that's what I thought the documentary was for, to raise the money so that they could live, because they were getting fined.
But I don't
Like,
even know if they
the county
wanted.
was trying to shut them
But
down.
I don't know if
and
they
kick them
wanted
out.
to live any other way. Do you?
Of course they did.
They did?
She wanted the money. She wasn't able. The money wasn't coming in.
Then you got to sell the
So
house.
then they became recluses. No, she was insistent on living in the East Hamptons. That's where she wanted
I
to
feel
retire.
no sympathy for that.
Exactly. I don't think the mother was mentally ill. I think the mother was an asshole.
The mother was. It's shocking.
She was manipulative. But okay, so that boyfriend she had, was his name Logan something?
These women are Bouviers,
Yeah, which is
which is Marge Simpson's maiden name. I don't know if you know
well,
that.
because she's royalty.
And she's related to these women.
right. I'm looking for this guy's name. What was her boyfriend's name? Logan something.
Is this
Who's that? Grey Gardens.
I've never seen one Halloween costume. Speaking of Halloween, of Big Edie and Little Edie, you think it'd be
Are you kidding? I've seen a million of them.
really?
Oh,
Maybe I
yeah.
just thought they were nuts.
Especially West Hollywood.
In
You
Nights.
probably, you know what? You didn't get it.
Probably.
So because
This is a
people
new world
would
to
do
me.
the bifocal glasses and then get those old school combs
Just and
that
some
she had in her hair.
and some ice cream.
I don't know about the ice cream, but she would wear like the mink coats. She would wear this with a, but even the stuff she was wrapping around,
Yeah.
that was so expensive. It's like,
So this
You're
came out in
right.
the 70s originally, theatrically, right?
yeah.
And then, but it had like a resurgence in the 2000s, I think.
For some, I guess it caught on, or somebody picked it up and bought the movie rights, or maybe they sold the movie rights.
And I think the government said
I think
like
it
this
was
is
added to the Criterion collection in the 2000s. I think that was
Oh,
what caused a resurgence.
and
got it.
I think the government like said it was like some sort of like it was needed to be. I don't know. It was like some awards. I don't know. Is that what Criterion collection means?
No, it was added to the
No.
Library of Congress.
Got
Right.
it. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say in a stupid
Oh,
way.
that I see what you're
I was
saying.
trying to say the pumpkin version of that.
Got it. Got it. Pumpkin version.
T for two.
Soft shoe, Jeffrey. How could you resist?
2 for T.
Okay. So Edith, the mother, was still living her life, and she was dating.
Yeah.
So
Had
when,
quite a few
when
boyfriends.
but when the husband left, there was this guy.
Mr. Beale,
who-
as
yeah,
they refer to him as.
Mr.
Oddly,
Beale, as-
both of them call him Mr. Beale.
Exactly. But when he left, she started dating this guy who would play piano and do all this stuff, but he was a drunk. And apparently this guy would leave. This is something I read. It's not in the documentary or anything, but apparently he would leave for like weeks at a clip and
How
then
how
come
could you
back.
not? How could you not?
Right. Well, he probably wanted to get the fleas off him.
Yeah, he's like, I gotta go to a.
Guys, I feel like I have the measles.
I gotta go to a veterinarian for a few weeks. I'll be back.
But well, maybe he didn't because the alcohol would kill it so much. But apparently he drank so much that he would leave, then come back. And he came the one time he came back, he was kind of sick from drinking or whatever, and he died in their kitchen. And they say he haunts the house. That's why when she was like, "Who put this book here? Who is doing this?" and she would blame him because she said he haunted the place and would move stuff, which is sickening. There was a dead guy in the kitchen, and they still didn't move out.
How many weeks?
They still didn't move out, probably for a while.
This house it obviously was at one point nice. It's in the Hamptons, right on the
East
water.
Hampton. Oh my God, look at all that.
Right on the water. I love when they showed all the neighbors' houses. They had beautifully manicured lawns.
Yeah.
And then they showed this. It was like a literal jungle outside of it. You couldn't walk in. The daughter's like, if you drop something in there, it's gone forever.
I lost something.
I dropped a scarf. I never saw it again. But I love the scene in the beginning. There's one of their gardeners is working back there. She starts talking to him. The guy walks away mid-conversation. He just walks. He's just like, I'm out.
Because I think he's a volunteer.
He just legit
from
turned.
The neighborhood, they all chip in and pay him to do this.
Turned away, and she still kept talking. Which is, it happens a lot at the Comedy Store with the insanity that hangs around there. You're just like, I'm going to walk away now. I'm not going to say anything. Just going to leave.
They don't even announce it. Just look, Jerry.
She was saying.
He's not the one that walked away. It's the other guy.
Oh.
Or was it
Yeah,
him?
no, it was an older
because this guy,
Hispanic man or something.
Yes, that guy.
She's like, Mother wants to plant a vegetable garden.
And he goes, yeah.
Yeah, he's like, okay, and just walks away.
And
she
goes, she said it's okay if you need to cut a few things. And he goes, And he just.
He's like, I'm here to do the bare minimum work.
Bare minimum.
Not planting gardens,
so
lady.
that the neighbors don't fucking complain anymore.
This
Plus,
lady, she said food prices are going up once to do sustainable fucking living. It's like, fuck you.
She's like, let's grow the food so the raccoons could eat more.
Ugh.
Oh, the way they would feed the raccoons, my stomach.
So when this thing opened, I was baffled.
Yeah.
Because it opens with just these two weirdos going, Whiskers is out.
Where is he? Bring him back in.
No, then he says, I think he got in the hole. And they just show a hole in the wall near the. I'm like, what the fuck is it? That's all. That's all they say.
Oh, there was Logan. That's it. No rhyme or reason to it.
Then it goes into Fast and Furious clips and pictures with just voices behind it, but you don't even know. I'm like, what are they saying? I was trying to figure it out.
Oh yeah.
It was just babble.
Because they're always arguing.
Yeah, and speaking over each other. You're like, what was that?
It's the mother will be trying, Big Edie, if you will be trying to say something, and then little Edie's in a fucking tirade in her head, maybe mad at the mom about something from 13 years ago, or just singing and just into her song and dance.
Or just something completely off topic. It has nothing to do with it. You're like, what the fuck? And you're trying to hear one or the other, and you're like, I can't listen. What is going on?
Pure insanity. But then the cameraman, there was two of them, would zoom.
They're brothers, I think.
They would just zoom. The Maysles are here. They would just zoom in on random parts. Like if Edith was stretching, all of a sudden they'd zoom.
They were going for subtle.
Hey, man.
They were going for subtle comedy. I think
a parody for sure.
They knew this was comical to somebody.
Yeah.
There's no story. There's no story whatsoever really in this documentary,
other than they're Jackie O's cousin.
Just a slice of life of two insane people.
Even when Edith, the little Edith, passed away. By the way, she died in her apartment
in Florida.
5 days she was there. Nobody knew.
Yeah,
she was
the
like
smell.
a recluse.
The smell is the same.
The smell was normal. They're like, that's about the same. She doesn't come out anyway. But she's in there for 5 days, and they said something along the lines of, she died alone, not like Jackie O, with everybody around her and loved by the whole country. And I was like, why the fuck would you compare? What about Jackie O's sister? They don't talk about her. She probably died alone.
So who Jackie O is who to these people? It's their
first cousin.
Cousin of the mother?
I think so.
So second cousin of the daughter.
Yes.
Got it. On the Bouvier side.
On the Bouvier, but I think the Bouviers, that would make them first cousins.
No, I'm just saying that's what
Edie and her were first cousins, I think. right?
It's shocking, this picture here, how hot
How
both,
beautiful.
how hot the mother and daughter were at one time.
But even in the documentary, you're looking at them and you're like, okay, they're disheveled, they're fucked up, they're dirty,
Oh,
but
filth.
they still have amazing skin. And I'm like, how she still looked like okay.
Not the arms.
Okay, that part, yes, you see that. But I'm talking about literal, just their head, Jeff, just the head. What
You could
kind
tell
of a
they're-
gown is that? Is real royalty, though. Jesus.
That the picture like that was the picture of the cat either pissed or shit behind in the middle of this.
Well, at least somebody's doing something.
Uh,
Somebody's happy doing something.
in the room the lady
The
spends
cat's just pissing.
24
Cat-
hours a day.
Cat piss is
The worst smell.
infuriatingly horrible, horrendous smell.
Oh,
It makes you go crazy too.
I believe that.
which
Cat piss.
which is a big
So
may have something to
could
do with
that
this.
be? I mean, in the documentary, they could have been like, "Is the piss what's making them insane?"
Could be cat piss poisoning.
That's what we need a documentary on, cat piss.
This documentary kind of it triggered me a little bit.
Well, how did it
'Cause
trigger
if anyone
Because
listens,
you're wealthy.
people are watching, check us out on
The
YouTube if you
opposite of
haven't,
me.
or listening, may not know, but back in my prime, I was a grocery delivery man in the Hollywood area. I've been to these houses.
Not the East Hampton.
Not this big, but I've been to nice houses that are this hoarded,
Yeah.
and they would
And they're hoarded.
hoarded to the
Oh.
gills. They'd make you go in. So you're inside. I'd be inside houses like this. I know. Seeing this, I know the smell that exists in this house.
Oh shit.
Well, like I was watching it, and I was like,
I know what you mean. I see what you mean. Like people that are wealthy,
Old,
just let it
yeah,
go. Like
old.
old Hollywood.
There was a woman we delivered to lived in this apartment. She was in an apartment in Hollywood, and somebody, I forget why, somebody just Googled her. Former model, like unbelievably attractive. Now, like she was in her like 60s probably when we were there. Like
60s only, and she's that
beyond
destitute?
disheveled. Like I think she was married to a famous musician, or
So
like,
it has to do with mental illness.
Yes.
Because
so I know that trust me, I've spent a lot of time with this kind of people. So seeing this, I was like, there was even a scene in this when the guy delivered groceries, and I was upset that he wasn't made to go in. He just left it outside. I was like, oh, he got off so easy.
this, my friend Corey, I always tease her that she's Grey Gardens, but she doesn't have raccoons and stuff in her house like that.
But that'll
But
come
she
with
had,
age. She'll get
right.
there.
She has cats, and the cats would just come out of boxes, like just clothes, like because Corey is like a designer, right? So she would do costuming. So she has tons of costuming, and she has, I mean, literally. It's uncomfortable. We moved it one time. Me, Ranazizi, Simone, maybe Ari. Maybe.
Yep.
Maybe. I forget.
There's a cat in this box.
But I just remember Ranazizi going, "Is there fucking bodies in here?" And I was like, "I don't know. I gotta be honest." And it was so much. And she has a garage that's completely full. So I always call her house Grey Gardens.
These women had what, like 8 cats? A lot of cats.
Yeah.
Probably mostly stray. But
I
who
can't
knows?
even imagine. But the cats do add a certain element of filth.
Oh.
I'm sorry. Maybe I'm just a dog person, but even still, it's a lot.
I could just in my head imagine, because I've been in houses where you just step over trash, or there's like runways between trash, like
Oh.
waist high,
You just like a little.
and you're just waiting for creatures to come out. I mean, it's
Burp.
I like where you'd get out, I would sanitize like up to my elbows,
like
I
a
was
house, an apartment, I could see getting to a certain level, but a house, you could really go fucking
Yeah, if you're
crazy.
old and you only stay like in
Yeah,
one area.
yeah. And
There was an old lady lived in the hills, like in a neighborhood where it cost probably like $5 million minimum to live.
whoa.
Complete shithole, alone, to the point you're like, I don't think she should live alone at this point. Like, you can tell, senile.
People are probably knocking every day. Ma'am, we can pay you.
So I go up
You
there.
need this property.
Her first words to me is, I don't like this neighborhood. And I was like, okay, why? And she's like, the other day I walked out and I yelled, snake, and no one helped me. And I was like, what the fuck? I was like, what? And then that was where we started. It got way worse
Snake
from
would
there.
have made me go the other way.
Then
like,
she's
I
like,
would
"Do
have
you
been like,
s-
sorry, you have
I
to run,
I
lady.
think it was that house. And she's like, do you smell something like gas or the office? But I was like, I got to get the fuck out of here, man.
It's not gas. It's cat piss.
Here are your groceries, and I'm out of here. Enjoy.
And they could order from Yummy.
Oh, yeah.
Insane.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
Because they would take phone. You could order online or you could do on the phone. There was this one woman who ordered, I forget what her job was. She was elderly. Lady had a mole on her face that was like the size of a baseball and would put a tiny Band-Aid over it.
Like Uncle Buck.
And she would wear, and she would wear an apron at all times.
Ugh.
And this lady was so fucking mean. Would just berate you the whole time in there. And she would call up. My daughter loves this impersonation because I still do it to this day. She'd call the store and they'd be like, okay, like, what do you want? And she had like a routine order. But they would tell the new people, like this is just going to, so she'd be like, I want bread. And they'd be like, all right, we have white, we have rye, we have, like, bread. then she'd be like, I want milk. They'd be like, all right, we have 2%, we have almond milk. Because she's from an era where, like, there were no choices.
Oh.
And so you just had to know what her standard choices were. And then
she wanted the real shit.
Then you'd get in there and she'd be like, put it in the ice box.
Ice box.
And I was like, is that?
Great word.
And then she got Tums every time.
Had to.
And just had a cookie jar full of like thousands of Tums.
She didn't realize what they added to that stuff.
And if you forgot the Tums, you're like, where are my Tums? It starts screaming at you. You're like, I don't know, man. She'd give you $1 out of the fucking apron for going inside this place for like 10 minutes.
Oh, and it was nasty.
There was this one foreign guy. He was from Moldova. He was a real fucking idiot. And she's like, he had like, because they would give you 2-3 orders, so you'd be in a rush, and you'd know the other 2 orders were good tippers, and this lady's a waste of your time.
Right.
So you're just trying to get out. She's trying to keep you in there. And he's like, I have to go. And she's like, you gotta put that. And she's like, she's like, you're not gonna get your tip. And he says, I don't want the tip. So literally walked out. She called the store. You didn't take my tip.
Why didn't you take the tip?
There was a guy at this
I love
store
her.
who fucking became close with this particular lady.
No way.
He took her bra shopping. She it was like this woman had big old flabby boobies, and she'd be like, she'd call this guy, and he'd be like, I'm kind of busy, man. Like that's how he talked. And she'd be like, he was a musician, and her dead husband was a musician, so she roped him in on that.
God.
And she'd be like, you want me to die? You don't want to come over? You want me to die?
So this is how ladies get laid.
So he was her little Edie.
Our little Edie.
Just the manipulation. I'm going to die here.
But you see, they're able to keep men. She was able
We were all like,
to
why are you
keep-
doing this? She's nice, man. We're like, no, she's not. Get out.
I could barely get laid on Tinder. Edith Beale has cat piss and raccoons in her cooch, and still people are trying to get in there with them.
That's how good of a singer she is.
Oh, I'm heavily trained.
T for two.
That speech, we were talking about that speech, like how they talk.
Yeah.
Like, like that, whatever that is.
Julia Child, School of
Ugh.
Speaking.
But they're not
Welcome.
English, but they're.
It's like a New York accent meets like a New England kind of accent.
I don't know.
It's kind of a bunch, like moshed together. Because I think part of it's made up. I think they just made up their own kind of dialect. The two
You
of
think
these.
they just started talking like
Yeah, I think it's
this?
like, Edith. They showed a picture of the. So they.
That's how you make fun of rich people.
Yes,
To me,
like,
this
oh,
voice.
ooh.
Pass the Grey Poupon or whatever. Is that the thing?
Today.
Look at her. This is the best costume for the day. The psycho. I love you. Oh, I hope she's dancing in heaven. Soft shoe.
This is where she clearly starts trying to fuck the cameraman.
100%.
I'm like, wait, where's this coming
The
from?
bathing suit over the top is
Yeah, so
incredible.
at the open, they do news clippings. They set up that they're related to Jackie O, and it's like Jackie O has forced to come clean up their house and save them
Right.
from ruin.
See, in the movie, they had her. They showed Jackie O come over.
Was she disgusted, or was she?
Unbelievable. Yeah.
So she was like, "What
And
the fuck?"
So see in
I had to
the
readjust
in the
my night
documentary, when the other cousins came over, how horrified was that cousin or woman?
That woman was
She
a
was like
local
this-
cable access host. I looked her up.
Oh, like that was her job,
Yeah.
but they were related, right?
No, I
'Cause
don't think so. She wrote a book about her experience with these women.
Oh, she just came over for that. I thought
She was
they
just like a
were-
voyeur, I think.
Oh,
It was her
because
and that
they
like
brought her the birthday cake.
yeah. She's like,
Yeah.
what a beautiful cake.
Oh, you know what? Somebody called
Yeah.
The cousin.
It
or
was such an
sister,
old
somebody.
lady call.
Yeah.
She's like, I received a beautiful package.
I have your call. Edith, I get nothing. Edith, bring down the. I loved when she was just yelling. You know, they're sitting it's a horrified, dilapidated house, and then she's like, "Where are the cushions? You haven't been downstairs since '81."
They got dressed for that scene.
Right.
They were like in normal clothes, kind of, for them. I was like, oh, wait, something's happening here.
But that lady's face was like this.
Yeah, they kept zooming in on her, and she was, because the smells, I wouldn't eat. Would you eat anything in this
That's what
house?
I was going to say. Would
wouldn't
you
eat.
I wrote
They
that.
kept offering the
I
fucking
was like,
crew
Jeff,
food.
Would you eat
No.
anything in this house?
No. I don't care if it's,
Disrespectful.
I wouldn't eat a fucking morsel of their disgusting food.
Every time.
Cats have touched it. Are you crazy? I have stomach issues with
there's that
regular
lady.
food. I can't eat this food.
Look at Edith's posture. Yep, big little Edie. She hated that lady. That lady looked like she was afraid of them.
Wouldn't you be?
No.
They kept offering the crew.
I would be very much moving in.
They
with
offered the
Jerry
crew
and-
these big old crackers with disgusting pate out of a can.
Oh,
and I'm
the
like, what?
pate.
And they kept
You
eating
have
it. I'm
to
like,
put some lemon on it. I
I'm
was
like,
like, that's cat food.
I'm
You're
like,
eating fucking
stop
cat food.
eating it.
Look at that picture with the raccoon.
At one point, the crew was eating like tomatoes with what looked like cottage cheese on them. I'm like, stop eating their
This
food.
is American royalty, though.
I don't give a
These
shit
people,
who they
like,
are.
I've only met maybe one or two real royalty.
You know
if-
Dice. He's American royalty.
I mean, you could call him that, but I'm talking about like that old money
I don't give a
kind of
shit.
spin people. Like,
Would not-
remember, you know the actress Laura Flynn Boyle?
Yeah.
Were you there when she was hanging out at the store?
LFB? Not really. I was
My
like the tail
favorite.
end of that era, I believe.
Okay, my favorite. By the way, one of the funniest, sweetest ladies.
Is she American royalty?
No,
Oh.
but she was dating Jay Penske from Penske Motors, Penske Oil, whatever, and they had ridiculous amounts of money, I get. And he was the sweetest, nicest, polite. I mean,
Was he eccentric?
a little, but he was just so nice.
Did he smell like cat piss?
No.
Oh.
And she was so wild. Like he was just enamored with, like he would just stare at her.
Just along for the
And,
ride.
Yeah, she would just like I remember her sitting in the OR. I'm waiting tables at this point, and she's sitting in the original room, and Wheels was on stage. Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
And he's trying to
I've been to Grey Garden.
he's trying to butter her up, right?
Hey, Larry Flynn.
Yeah, I know. Oh, I know. Penske, right?
Penske Motors.
So he's going into this whole thing,
Yeah, I invented motor oil.
and she. I put it in cannolis. So he's on stage and he's doing okay. It's fine. There's nobody in there really.
Wheels.
They're on
Don't sell him short. He slays
They
all
were-
the time.
They were on the side, and he's trying to banter,
Yeah.
kind of mock. She goes, we at Christmas time we always had those lights. We called them the Italian lights because he kept saying how he's Italian. He's Italian.
Well, I
So-
never heard him say that. That's
Never
weird.
heard him say that.
No.
Anyway, so he's Italian, and she goes, "We had the Italian lights," and he goes, "Oh, well, I don't know what the Italian lights on a Christmas tree are." She goes, "You know how they blink, like?" And he goes, "Yeah." She goes, "Yeah, we call them Italian lights because they're not too bright." And she got the biggest laugh.
Jesus.
And
She
Wheels was like, "What the fuck?
prepared heckled this.
Who the fuck are you?
I like how she baited him in, like, ask me more
She
about
really
it.
did, and she's so pretty and
She
so
just sat
smart.
there, like, let it
But
sit.
she had that kind of charisma. It was perfect. She just drew
Jesus.
him in. And then, of course, me and Andrew just immediately became best friends with her. We were like, we need to hang out with you.
Give me some more lines
But
that I can
Jay-
use on my best friend like that, because I do it all the time.
But Jay would just sit there like this.
And
Like,
he's
he never got involved in anything.
he's like,
he
"Good
just
line,
He was
Laura."
like, I'm the money. I'm just the money.
The money man.
Like, sometimes he would bring books in and read.
Just in the audience? That's cool.
Like, they hang out at the store. They eventually broke up. Like, he was always working, she said.
He was selling too
So
much
I don't know
motor
what he
oil.
did, but like in my eyes, I'm like the women are just supposed to get married in that
That's what
field.
it comes
the men
out a lot
are
in
supposed
here.
to continue this money, correct?
It
or
seems,
no?
I don't. It seems like how these people, they were very old fashioned.
Yeah.
What explain the daughters, because there's a scene where she explains her fashion sense.
Oh.
With what you're wearing if you're watching on video
So-
and what I'm wearing on my head.
I'm wearing this is the best costume of the day. You understand? I like to take a sweater and just wrap it around with my stockings. And
this is summer, by the way. This wasn't
100%.
Yeah, it's hot.
My favorite is she's like, you could take a skirt. I don't like pants, but you could take a skirt, put them over the stockings, and just, if you get bored with it, you could take it off and wear it as a cape. And I was like, who would wear?
It's what a child or somebody who's out of their mind does.
And she's like, Mother and I had quite a fight. She wanted me to wear a kimono, so you understand. No, nobody.
The cameraman, they chime in every now and then, but more or less say nothing because they're talking directly to camera.
So can you imagine having a fight with your mother because she wants you to wear a kimono?
I mean, it happened to me a few times growing up, so I can imagine it. Jeff, you forgot your kimono.
But that was all they were about, was dressing properly,
appearance,
looking. Yeah, I think she had a panic attack. Now, again, I'm not looking at the note, but getting ahead of myself. But she had a panic attack. She goes, I would never wear this outside in East Hampton. Like, I can't let somebody see me.
But they don't go outside.
And it's like, wait, you see what the house looks like, right? Like, they can see that. Their
neighbors had to have hated them.
But she didn't want the neighbor to see her because she was in something like this.
They were the monsters of this neighborhood.
Or worse than the monsters.
Like normal houses, complete eyesore.
They didn't have running water for a while. They didn't have electricity, obviously, but people had to step in and help them.
But the mother was making delicious corn on the cob on a hot plate from her disgusting,
absolutely incredible
twin bed.
When she was like, "You want corn?"
Twin bed kitchen.
Who wants your?
Don't eat the food. No one eat this food except for them. That's it. Now, I don't care if they opened it in front.
Did the Maysles have to get shots before they were filming?
Amazing Miss Maysles?
The amazing Mr. Maysles had to get. Look at her with the corn. I can't. I'm dead.
Jesus.
There's also a Broadway show of this, and I only know the music. I didn't get to see it. My brother Tommy was obsessed, and he's like, "We gotta go see it," and I never went to see it, and I should have. Because I don't think it's that. Look at Jerry in the musical.
Look at the cans are on the bed in the musical. The mother reminds me in appearance and a little bit in acting, how she acts, Tony Soprano's mother. When she, towards like the manipulation, the meanness.
I'll be dead soon.
Yeah, just like the leave me alone. Like when she played.
Go on.
She would play him.
Oh, look at her. The greatest character ever invented. In all honesty.
She reminds me of
one of the greatest characters ever invented.
Look at that. That's right.
She would cry. It was the best.
Just a sad
song. All right, don't get impatient.
All right, don't get impatient.
Tony be like,
do another one of hers. Fancy.
Oh, fancy.
It's not that far.
All right, don't get impatient. I'm your mother.
Your mother.
That's her yelling at Little Edie. They didn't reveal they were Big Edie and Little Edie until like.
Those dogs are wild dogs. Cemetery dogs.
Cemetery dogs.
Take your hand off. Come over here.
That's what this sounds like. But you need more chaos.
So yeah, because that's a New Yorkie accent.
But it doesn't have the upper crust, but it's the basis of it.
Right. So all right, now I'm lost on this because I was skipped
shocked.
ahead, so I'm trying to.
So we have the daughter sets up her outfit. They live in this house for 50 years, or the mother has. Daughter, They said is 56, which was I thought she was younger.
But that's what I'm saying.
In this house.
Was she on Alf, Tony Soprano's mother? She was on like a weird show in the 80s.
Oh, I believe it.
Look at her.
She's a great actress. You know what's funny? I have friends that hate all the women parts in The Sopranos.
Even her?
They hate Carmela, they hate Meadow, and they hate the grandma. The mother is my favorite. The grandmother's my favorite.
Even Tony's sister?
Yeah. And she's...
What's his name's sister? Not Totoro.
Totoro.
It is Totoro. The Jesus.
Totoro. Yeah.
You
fuck
with the Jesus'
Nobody
sister.
fucks with the Jesus.
He doesn't.
The best. Yeah. Oh, she was in Regarding Henry. Yes. Why do I vaguely remember that? But she's like a character actor. Obviously.
I may have made Alf up, but there was a woman on there who looked like her.
I like that. She was in Night Court.
Spencer for Hire. That actor lived in my hometown. What's his name?
I don't think I ever saw Spencer for Hire.
Robert Urich lived in my hometown.
Oh.
One time his son showed up at a party and he like went to private school, so no one knew him. We're like, who the fuck are you? He's like, I'm something Urich. We're like, oh, okay. And then he just left. It's like not long after. And I said, T for two.
2 and 2 for T.
How can you resist?
You for me and me for you.
They played the records. The mom would do
Dude.
karaoke to these
But-
songs.
When she got mad at her for not singing properly.
Oh, she freaked
I
out.
fucking died.
She lost it. She became a stage mom. She's like, no, not like that. Edie, stop it. And she said like a word. She's like, where are you from with that? Why do you speak that way?
Yeah. Who talks like that?
What? Yeah, like talk like you freaks. You're disgusting.
Oh, you
food.
mentioned that I could see the correlation between Mrs. Soprano and Mrs. Beale, if you will, Big Edie. I could see that,
Small.
but you said they sound like my friend Cindy
A little
from
bit.
Philly.
A little
No,
bit.
Al, what are you doing, Al?
There's a little bit of that in there.
No, I wouldn't talk like that, Al. Who talks like that?
That's a little bit of it in
There's
there.
no way, Al. I don't talk like that. Those ladies were like crazy, you know what I mean?
Pumpkin.
Oh, I love pumpkin. Is it pumpkin season yet?
There's the big theme, one of the running threads of this, because there aren't many threads. It's just like weeks in the life
Wait,
of
there's a running
insanity.
thread. Insane.
But one of the
Insanity.
threads is Edie, the daughter, wants freedom, like wants out of this house.
Oh,
needs to go back to
absolutely.
New York. But the mom gives a great cut down line of, you can't have freedom if you're being supported. I was like,
That
oh,
is
that's a big
The
fucking
top.
cut down.
I mean, literally, it made me think of. I used to watch after school specials. I was obsessed with them, right? Because
Ben
it was like a
Affleck was
way
in
of a
one.
better life. And I was like, wow, this is so cool, right? That was my favorite thing to watch.
Like,
And
if only I could
in
get my
this-
boyfriend to stop hitting me.
It was an eating disorder one, and I guess the mother was like, it's vague to me, but she was like, telling the daughter she was fat,
Yeah.
and the girl's in her prom dress, and everybody's like, you look beautiful, and the mom goes, just work with what you've got. And so my mom loved that. I loved how hurtful that was. So anytime I come down, she go, you got to work with what you got.
that was this style of mothering for sure. It was a lot
It was
of
awful.
that.
She was awful. But look, if you show those brooches again, if you scroll down, like, holy shit, like she kept putting them here, and they were holding the cape together, I guess.
Why didn't they sell them to get more money though?
No, higher. It was low. Yeah. There it is. Look at that. That's what I'm saying. That was probably very expensive, and she just kept wearing them in her hair instead of selling them.
Another big Edie to little Edie diss was on the patio, or that balcony, whatever the fuck it was, where they spent a lot of their time.
Where they're laying out.
Yeah.
Also, she goes like, when she was stretching and the cameraman zoomed in, she goes, Mother, you're naked. And she goes, I don't have any warts on me.
That was this scene.
That's what you're worried about?
She's almost naked and said, well, I will be fully naked in a moment. And she's like, Mother. And that's when she kept saying, I have no warts on me. And I'm like, well, I think you might, to be honest. You can't see them under those arms.
They're not warts. They're
But
flea bites.
she said, the mother said when she kept saying, like, you need to cover up, Mother. She said, you know what you've gotten by being like that? No husband, no babies. And I was like, oh, shit. Because you could tell Edie, all she wanted was a husband.
That's all she wanted.
To her, that was like, you made it. That's your.
See, in the movie, they got more into it.
Okay.
And then if you go behind the scene and read more, Edith was young Edie when her father made her move to New York to find a husband. She was find somebody.
Yeah.
And he was like, you have to work, you have to do this. So she was modeling and doing stuff like that, but she was dating married men. Oh, it's so much easier to date married men.
They mentioned that once, and her mom was like, they were not going to give you what you needed.
And she did. She caught her with the scene that got her, in Edith's life to move back to the Hamptons and not go anywhere. The scene that got her was when she called her out on this guy's not going to give you anything, and she fell in love with this married man who was played by Daniel Baldwin, who I adore. And she went to meet him in a lobby, and he was with his wife, and he's like, you're crazy, get out of here. He basically broke it off.
She was very attractive. I can only imagine
and
what
that
she
crushed
was.
her, and that's why she never went back to New York.
I can only imagine what she was like to date. Even then, before all this.
Well, she seemed fun.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know about
But
that.
another one was like in the movie, again, she was doing this like day modeling thing in the middle of their brunch or lunch or something at this place. And she went up to Max Gordon, this big producer.
She kept talking about Max Gordon.
Yeah, so she did like a scene. She basically sang that song the marching song.
Yeah.
And when I do this, the planes go by, like, and you're watching, going, it's so awkward. And he goes, "Whoa, you're like Judy Holliday," and she's like, "He called me Judy Holliday."
And
then she was like, "That's it. She's going to be a superstar because Max Gordon was going to put her in films."
They both had their talents. The mother was a singer and the daughter was a dancer. They showed these like homemade signs in their house.
Okay, wait.
It said like Big Edie.
No, one was made for her. One
From
for
who?
Edie. Hers was made.
By
You're
who?
a beautiful
A fan?
a boyfriend, I think. You're a beautiful
Guy in
singer,
like a special ed class.
right? Remember, it was like hers was more professional looking. Edith made her own. Young Edith.
Looked like a
Hers was
yard
bad.
sale
Yeah.
sign.
Hers was bad. Hers was like, "You're a dancer, a great dancer."
Love you, me. I was like, what the fuck? She's big into
Arts and crafts.
big into horoscopes too.
Oh yeah.
She said she could. I think it was a Libra, if I recall. But
the big Libra.
They
Yeah,
just brought up the book when I saw it.
Libras make the best husbands.
She was reading "It's All in the Stars" by Zolar. No clue what that is.
Yeah.
But it was a paperback book. She was reading with binoculars, like a lot of people do.
because
they
my
said-
eyes are pulling apart.
She said the mother's like, "I got you glasses, and you
There it
wouldn't
is.
wear them."
The great dancer, Alita Beware. She definitely made that one.
Looks like a fucking cue
The
card for
mom's-
SNL.
The mom's was way more professional looking, like somebody gifted that to her.
Ladies and gentlemen, the great dancer, Little E. Bouvier Beale. What a name, by the way. How about you shorten it a little bit?
Just go by Little E.
Oh, fuck.
Little Edie.
She made
oh,
a
God.
sign for herself. That's the saddest thing I've ever
We-
seen.
At the end, we really should play a clip of Bill Hader and
Fred Armisen.
Fred Armisen, because I bet they destroyed this.
Yeah, they do
'Cause
different
it's
names.
such character-y.
Oh,
it's
yeah. If you
so
like
fucking
playing characters
funny.
or like, I bet for improv, this is,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
those two must have been like, this is an unbelievable world. We got to get in it.
Yeah, you know what? How about when they were listening to the radio with the priest Catholic?
They
on
had
there?
two radios going.
But they would put it in stereo to make it louder.
Yeah, they're like, this reverend is just unbelievable.
He's so good.
He's like, there are 3 things in life you need to do.
You need to try.
You need to-
Really try.
And she's like, really try, okay.
Think. Really think.
Oh, think, that's good.
Believe. Really believe.
He's like, you need to get on top of life or it will get on top of you. And she's like, what a sermon. Let's say the prayer.
This is beautiful.
These 2 women in queen, disgusting beds.
Honestly, there
Beds,
was
no
only
sheets. No
one
sheets.
scene where she itched. One in the whole fucking thing. And I'm like,
Fred Armisen, if you're
Armisen.
He looks like a magician. Long silver hair.
like how great that is.
Oh, man. I may have to
By
watch
the
that.
way, I hope he has that framed in his house with a cat pissing behind it, because
I'm
that
sure he
is
does.
glorious.
He may live as this
Oh
character
my
now.
God.
You made me
It's only
itchy by
2
talking about
minutes.
itching.
But it was only one time where she was like, I have to get out of here.
Did you notice all the flies on the headboard?
Yes.
Throughout.
Bugs
It
walking
was
around.
driving me crazy. It's Bill Hader. I like the effort they took to look like women, which is none.
Zero.
No makeup. Just looks like Bill Hader. Looks like me. It's
But
the same effort I
ladies-
put in.
The ladies, all they had was lipstick and like eyeliner, and I think they would put it on their eyebrows.
The fact that they
too.
wore anything with the state of that house
Incredible.
was an odd combo.
Like, what part? Is that me?
Is that a
no.
foghorn? What is that
That's
noise?
not me.
We got a
Oh, I see. I was like, wait, it's not me.
Big Edie's calling.
Big A, if
From
Mizzle
heaven.
would call, what time is it? I was
Hello?
going to say we could call Charlie and make him tell
Hello?
stories, but
I like the the fly I think may have been the same fly on Mike Pence's head that was throughout
yeah,
this
she-
documentary.
they're like zooming in,
It was constantly on her headboard
was
behind her
just-
head.
but It was a fly that looked like it's been eating more than them. Like,
Oh, yeah.
How are they gaining weight? They have no money. Well, I guess no movement.
Well, she's also eating ice cream constantly.
They
They
couldn't
have a-
always get
they
the
had a
ice cream because
mini-
they didn't have an ice box
I
that
think there was a
worked.
mini fridge in the room, right? Like a hotel style.
Again, it was. That's why she was worried about that young kid, Jeff. Was that his
Jerry.
name? Jerry. I'm sorry, Jerry. She was worried that he was gonna be the mom's new boyfriend and move in.
He was like 17.
because
How
he
old
would
was he?
bring them things that people would throw away, like that ice box.
How old was
He
he?
got him a washer, and she goes, "I'm not gonna do washing and drying. I'm moving to New York."
She said, "This news is just pulverized
Yes.
me." Pulverized.
I think I accidentally did a little Temple Grandin in that. Did you watch Temple Grandin?
No, I
That's
don't
my
know what that
favorite.
is.
Oh, Jeff, you're so behind.
So they introduce this guy Jerry. They don't say his name, who he is. They just show this random teenage guy
Yeah.
sitting on the porch watching the daughter dance, doing her Napoleon Dynamite, as I said earlier, dance routines.
That's a soft shoe.
And
Jeff.
the guy's
How dare
constantly
you.
covered in paint. They don't say what he does. He has long, like 70s
He's
hair,
just hanging out.
wearing like a
And he
bike,
loves it.
but he doesn't say anything. And you're like, I'm like, who the fuck? I wrote at one point, who the fuck is this guy? They finally introduce him like at the end of the documentary.
Oh, I see what you're saying. See, maybe because I read up on it so
Yeah,
much
like when
that
you.
I watched
But I was like,
it, and I
who
was
is
like,
this guy? Because these are old. There's a 56-year-old, and then I don't know how old the mother was.
Well, obviously,
kept saying,
at
"Oh,
least
people are
20
gonna
she
know
was
my-
79. That was her 79th birthday.
People are gonna know my age.
Ooh, tell everybody on the island, everybody in the East Hampton's gonna know my name. That's what she said at her birthday party.
It's like, lady, you think people think you're young? That's the least of your problems.
She said, "How am I gonna get Jerry to move in if you keep telling him my age? I don't have any warts, Jerry."
When Edie was dancing for Jerry, who you don't even know who the fuck he is, she starts complaining about all the fleas.
Jerry, would you like some corn on the cob? Rub it between my tits, please.
She's itching in front of this guy, complaining about the fleas, and the guy's like, "This is a great place to hang out."
Exactly.
It's like,
that
what
was
are
the
you doing?
only scene
I kept
that she itched, and he was like, "Oh yeah," he was just numb.
I kept thinking, like, where are his parents? Like, what is he doing here? Why?
He had no reason to be there.
Why is he
Is
there?
this him now?
They did a documentary about this guy, I read.
No.
He became a sculptor in New York. Look at Jerry.
That's
they call
Jerry
him
now.
the marble fawn, I guess, is
dead.
what she kept calling him, but I didn't even get that.
What if all his sculptures were just Edith, big Edith,
Just corn on the cob.
like big bifocal
flies.
glasses and flea bites on her arms?
Yeah, here he is.
Holy
Jer Bear.
shit. Another Jer Bear.
Look at him with his marble. He's like, oh, T for two.
Oh, he has 2 with his nipples. Look at those nipples. Yeah, Jer, it's cold in there, huh, buddy?
He's he's in their ice box.
Those are nice. He lives in her ice box. That's Edith in the bust there that he's sculpting.
See, it's weird. I didn't know he was an artist, but it makes sense. He was constantly paint splattered.
Yes.
Wearing his pants.
But he was doing stuff around the house for them.
He was like a handyman, but they never
Boarding
even said
things
that
up.
until very late. Jerry seems like a tiny guy.
Jerry seems hilarious.
He's-
I mean, he's still alive. You think we can get him on the phone?
I don't know if he has a phone.
He has a phone.
He grew up with this lifestyle. I'd be
Yeah,
like,
but-
Jerry, why the fuck were you in there? Why were you eating the
Jerry,
food?
was it itchy? What did it smell
Why?
like?
What did the corn on the cob taste like? Was it really
Yes.
good? Oh, this
Gee,
corn's
I wonder
great.
if Jerry's gay and he was just obsessed with
The fabulousness? Or the
Yes.
former fabulousness?
I know it sounds weird, but it's like they would appreciate more
Yeah.
of the oh my God, this is the Beals. Right?
Mrs. B.
Like this
But he
is
never said anything, so
royalty.
you couldn't
no,
really tell
that's
what
what I
his
mean. He would take it in.
You just couldn't tell what his intentions were. Like, does he like
Jerry
it? Does he
tore
not like it?
memoirs. The marble, what's that say?
The marble fawn.
Oh, Grey Garden.
That's what little Edie kept calling him. But there's
This is
so
hot
much.
off. This is hot off the presses. This is March
You?
28th, 2023. They're adapting it for film.
You better get this book. Your family.
Dude,
You
I'm
better
gonna
study
get
up.
this book.
Do a book report on the show. Reading Rainbow style. Jer Bear. Yeah, I want to know, like, what did he think of
I have
all
so many
this?
questions. Jer, can you call in? Jer, are you there?
My mom hated it.
What did
I
the
would say I
corn
was going out with my
taste like?
friends.
Where did they get the water for the corn to boil?
They'd
if they
get
didn't have
ocean
running
water, desalination.
Oh, God.
Where were
Cat
they?
piss.
Cat piss? Yes.
Where were they going in the bathroom? The mom and daughter.
I
Cat
Wherever
boxes?
they were.
Litter boxes? Yeah, the mom seemed like she would piss her pants, I think.
I think so. I'm telling you, there was, and I don't know if I said this on here already, but when they would pan back that camera, every once in a while it would get a glimpse of like a little bit of exposed mattress, and it was like,
Oh, why put sheets on it? They're only gonna get dirty. So
well,
keep it bare.
At one point, there's a scene where Jerry's laying on Edith's bed,
like
talking,
lounging,
and I'm like, oh my god! But hers was covered.
Jerry treats this place like it's a college dorm, like just hanging out, couple guys, like he's lounging. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? They're open about fleas.
Thesis on this? I'm gonna get Jerry's book.
It's like, this is our dorm. There's 80 raccoons in the attic. They're breaking down one of the walls. 800 cats. Just stinks like ammonia in here, but it's great.
You're gonna love it. You gotta get in here.
Jerry must have had 0 friends his age, you would think.
There's also that scene where they're laying on the bed, and I forget what they were talking about, but she goes, "Give me your mirror." Little Edie says,
Yeah.
"Give me your mirror," and she takes the mirror, and Big Edie is like, "Don't drop it!" Like you're gonna get more bad luck. Anyway, she pulls the mirror, and has it this close to her face, right? She's like this, and she's just checking out her face, and I'm like, is she in shock, like, or is she that blind that she has to put it?
I couldn't tell.
But you know what I'm talking about? That's
yeah, I know.
It looked so bizarre, and I was like, what the fuck is she doing?
She was so manic that she was constantly on the state of hysterical laughing or hysterical crying. It was like on that. Like, and I've dealt with that. I'm sure you have at the Comedy Store a million times. This is the open mic back in the day.
One of my closest friends.
You're like, are they gonna? Which way are they gonna go? Are they going sad or are they going happy? Because
I've called manic, and I've actually said to her, just to see if it'll snap her out of it. Sometimes I'll say, "You're being manic," and she's like, "Ha, I am not." Like, we always joke about it. At least she's aware of it.
Did you love the daughter talking about her junior college career at Farmington? And she said her dad didn't like her being at whatever the hell Farmington Junior College is.
Dad didn't want me in Farmington.
One of her classes, Oriental philosophy. I'm like, I don't think that's the correct current day terminology. Obviously,
is that? I'm gonna go look it up and see if it is. But I was just like, even her studies, the way, is it in there? Oh, that's funny.
She said English literature.
The way she said that threw me off of the other one, because she was like, English literature. Yeah, she was at Farmington. I know I say words wrong, but is there that many T's in it?
Farmington CC.
Well, and then
Miss Porter's School.
It's Farmington. That's what this is.
Yeah, it's where Jackie O went as well.
Jackie O went, and then they said something about Kennedy was gonna go there too. Jackie Kennedy was supposed to go there or something. But is it all girls?
Jackie Kennedy is Jackie O.
I mean, I'm sorry.
She did.
John Kennedy.
Dressed as Jackie?
No, like John. She goes, John was auditioning, trying to get in this school, or
JFK.
No, it's for women.
Interviewing for
that
something.
Still makes sense that Kennedy would try to get in.
Absolutely,
yeah,
it makes perfect
He's
sense.
like, look,
but John,
there's no better place to fuck than here.
She in the movie, she says, I could have gotten John. He wanted me. But or it was the older brother who died in war that wanted her, not John.
Well, they said he made
Joe.
Kennedy.
They said he may have killed himself because he didn't want to come back to Edie.
That is not
true. Stepped out
he
in front of the
couldn't
bullet.
wait to get back to Edie.
They said JFK used to hang out at the Grey Gardens shithole.
They did. They did.
Shithole motel. Yeah, they did, to be like, clean this fucking place up, you idiots.
Not when it was a shithole, when it was, but they all somehow knew each other. Like, what's Gloria Vanderbilt up there? Because she's royalty too.
Used to be.
She went
This
there?
is all the notable alumni from Miss Porter's
Wow.
School. There's a bunch of them. Jean Tierney, Gloria Vanderbilt,
Okay.
Emily Hale,
Eleanor Kerrigan.
Eleanor Kerrigan.
Roosevelt.
Edith Kerrigan.
Did
Little
Eleanor
Edie Kerrigan.
Roosevelt start this school? Because she went to some weird schools too. We're going to do an Eleanor Roosevelt thing because she's my favorite.
I have a question. I just wrote this down because they never addressed it. I said, why is the daughter bald? They just never bring it up. She says stuff about her hair, but they never, and she wears this thing on her head. Are you familiar with the Yiddish word schmata?
Yes.
It's like rags.
Of course.
That's what she was wearing on her head.
Right.
The perfect definition of what she wears on her head.
This staunch woman, I know why she was looking in the mirror, because she goes, you look terrible. The mother said it to her, and that's why she was
Mrs.
looking
Soprano.
in the mirror.
Giving her daily dose of negativity. Take your medicine.
You look terrible. That
She
was
said
just
it. She
the
said at one
staunch
point.
woman thing when she called herself, I'm a staunch woman. And then she spelled it.
Taunch. She said that's why her dad didn't like her. She was staunch. Said
Yes.
unbreaking.
Right. And
Wouldn't
that's
bend.
the Farmington school or whatever the.
Miss Porter.
Yes.
Tea for two, Miss Porter and you.
I could never. Look, it was alopecia, Jeff. You're right.
Because that can be stress related.
Yeah, I just thought they used a different word.
Because there were
but-
times where I'm like, does she have
It's
eyebrows?
alopecia totalis is
Totalis
the
maybe is-
specific type where you lose it all over your body as
Yeah,
well.
because in her makeup, like I was joking, she doesn't put mascara, and I'm wondering if it's because her eyelashes fell out. That's why I didn't put mascara on today. I never not wear mascara, guys. This is a big deal for me.
This is a bit. You want everyone to know. You want my hand mirror?
You look terrible.
We should be.
Give me a mirror,
We
Jeff.
should be in twin beds,
Oh,
laying
you're right.
down. This whole
That would be amazing. That would be so great.
Jerry had a big bushy hairdo. At times, she would use some of his hair clippings for her pubes.
I look horrendous, and I got to stop looking down.
That's the equivalent of the mirror right there.
Forehead is. Look, I'm going to do it like Edith.
Did you say forehead?
My fart head. My nephew used to say that to me. Your fart head is big. I was like,
Farthead.
okay.
Jesus.
He wasn't trying to be funny. He was just not smart at that point.
I liked when so Edie kept talking about New York. What a glorious time in her life it was.
Forehead. I just realized I said forehead.
Yeah, that's why I
Because
said
we
that.
always say forehead.
So Edie kept saying, "When am I going to get out of here?" And
How am I gonna leave now
her
that
mother,
Jerry's moving
her
in?
mother from the back, her bed that she never leaves, just snipes in with. She had a terrible time when she left. Had to come home to Mama's for 15 to 20 years to recover.
15 to 20 years.
She said, I had to send
then-
her groceries. She was just wasting away.
And she was, because she was miserable over the married guy she was
So
chasing
she's
around.
sending her groceries from the
Yes.
fucking Hamptons.
She also was, when she was at at the Farmington school, she snuck the married man in, which you're not allowed to.
Uh-oh,
Abby.
Mrs. Porter does not want that.
And then the mom kept calling because the drunk guy left at that point. And this is, again, in the movie.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's true or what, but this is how they, portrayed it. But she was home. She brought the married man in, and the father, when she wouldn't talk to the mother, because the mother was like, I need somebody to talk to. Where are you? What are you doing? And she's like, I have somebody here. And she's like, he's married, isn't he? And so they get into this fight, and then the mother calls the father and rats her out. So the father shows up the next morning, and she's in the bed with the married man.
Because the father ditches them. It says in this. He
And
took
that
off,
was it.
which,
That was the last straw
to be
for
honest,
the father. That was the last.
Can anyone blame him for taking off? He had his hands full.
The brothers came in at one point.
They showed a picture. There was Edith and then two brothers. And then I wrote down, where are the brothers? It never mentioned.
They came in. They offered, let's sell it. We moved to
So
Florida.
they were normal people.
They were normal people.
Somehow escaped this.
Edith would have been normal too. The mother
Just
went fucking nuts.
Focused on her.
The mother, when the father started having an affair, the mother started having affairs. Then they finally broke up. Then the father got married fakely in Mexico or something.
No, he got
like that.
divorced in Mexico.
Oh, I'm sorry,
And
divorced.
they said he took another wife. We didn't recognize that.
Yes, but
It
he
is not
did.
recognized
I
in the
don't
Catholic
believe in divorce.
Edie said at one point about her mother that the guy who played the piano for her,
Yeah, that's the guy who died in the kitchen.
she said he was not taking care of her sexually. I was like,
that
"Ugh."
argument was tremendous.
I was like, who would? To
but
be
that
honest.
she was going off, and Mrs. Big Edie was just trying to set the record straight.
Yeah.
And little Edie was just like, and he didn't satisfy her sexually. He wasn't taking care of her. And she's like, he was charming. And
She said
they were in two different directions. It was glorious.
that a lot of this is you're like, wait, who am I focusing on? 'Cause they're saying two completely different things at the same exact time.
It was great.
Edie says she was going to get her big break in New York, had some big audition, but her mom made her come home.
Max Gordon. She was supposed to go and audition for Max Gordon.
And they had a big fight about this, where her mother's like, this is lies. Because I can only imagine what her auditions must have been like.
No, but this was when in the movie, the way they portrayed it or said it happened was that Edith went up to Max Gordon, did a song for him. He said, "You're hilarious. You're awesome. Come." Meanwhile,
you're hilarious. I don't know if you're going for that when you just sing a song.
I think she was trying to be serious.
Yeah,
and he was
he's like, "Oh, this is great comedy."
Hysterical, and it was definitely condescending. And he was like, "Come by," and so she was supposed to go and audition for him that next day, supposedly, and then it didn't happen because the mother talked her into coming home.
Here's where in my notes I have, who the fuck is this teenager they show occasionally? And right after that, the crew has to eat this disgusting food they keep offering they finally reveal, I said here, his name is Jerry. He's eating corn on the cob in their disgusting room.
The butter was frightening.
With his hands.
Well, she was like, "You want me to butter it for you?"
And I'd be like, "You shit, and don't wash your hands. Don't touch me.
You have shit on your hands for sure."
Do you imagine if cat feces in that? Ugh.
Please don't feed me. I mean,
why would you eat?
But the butter looked like it was out for, and I know that's a European thing. They leave butter out.
I'm sure it was out 24/7.
With the new chemicals they put in it, you got to put it in the refrigerator, guys. It's not good. And so they had it all. It was all dented, like the mother had been holding it. Oh.
Once he touched it, it like just completely went to
so
liquid.
Soft. It was like Jerry's cock. It was soft.
Jerry was hard a little bit in there. The scene where Edie goes to the attic is one of the more frightening scenes of this whole thing.
That when she's feeding the raccoon.
So she goes up with a loaf of Wonder Bread. I'm sure they want the plug. Just empties it out, then tops it with what?
Bread. That's bread.
Bread. Just bread. Tops it off with like a mound of cat food.
Dry
and
cat
the cameras
food.
are just panning to raccoons like all around. Look at that fucking. That's a haunting look. Jesus. They're just panning to raccoons waiting like in the shadows.
Oh, yeah.
Like, oh, here we go.
And they're just sitting there nice.
Oh yeah, they're completely
just waiting.
They're like, oh, this
She's
is free
gonna feed
food.
us.
So she goes up there, and that's when she starts talking about her book is missed, some little fucking tiny book.
Yeah, who put this book up here? But that I'm telling you, they say
it's probably the camera crew is like, oh, we got her again.
Let's go fuck with her. You think the Maysles were fucking with her?
I would
love this.
I would go through like when you go check into prison and they spray you with like a fire hose and they delouse you. That would be my process if I was on this crew. Every time I left, I don't know how they did it.
I don't have any idea how they did. I mean, they should have gotten Oscars just for
dealing with this,
staying in there, going in there over and over again. I mean, this scene is great too with the T for two. If you go back just a little bit, where she's wearing that, it's like a red, white, and blue brimmed hat.
The mom has a homeless man's collection of straw hats that are huge.
That's the church. That's when they're listening.
Look at this hat. I don't think it's supposed to be that floppy.
By the way, what was glorious in the movie
Look at this kook.
is they showed Jessica Lange wearing it early, like when it was cool.
Looks like a fucking lampshade.
And this is her singing that she plays.
Yeah, it was her own album.
All right. Oh, there's Edie. She got the little Edie's trying to get her titties out.
Well, I mean, look who she's learning from.
Oh, the sound is off. That's why I was waiting for the stupid song to start.
Oh, you went the song?
I just want to see if it... That one, yeah.
Awake and start to bake a sugar cake for you to take.
Oh.
Oh, she's got to readjust. All the trash is pushing her off the bed.
We can raise a family. A girl for you,
A boy for me. Ooh.
You see how happy we could
There's the bug. Look at the bug.
Yeah.
Right there.
Oh.
Edie's any good to soft shoes out. If she's any good at all.
If she was any good.
Soft shoe now, you know. This is a dance. Come on, Edie. I used to do it myself, you know. I did that, the soft shoe.
Fuck your soft shoes.
See us or hear us, no friend or relation on weekend vacation.
Unbelievable.
The singing's not terrible, to be honest.
She's not. That's what she's trained. Edith
It's
isn't.
not. It's
Edith
not. I mean,
is
it's
not
not
trained.
It's not like unreal, but it's not as bad as you would think from this.
Well, that's
from her.
what I like in the movie. There's a scene. They're at the Hamptons' house. They would go every summer. Obviously, that was. I love the phone being there because God forbid we lose contact with the outside world. You know, we don't keep up appearances on the phone.
Who's calling these people once
Just
a year?
Cousins, but they had lots of cousins, and so she. But see, her face doesn't look terrible. But anyway, she. Oh shit! I'm gonna throw up.
Ugh. 8 cats.
I forgot
eating
what
out
I
of
was
one
talking
bowl
about 'cause I got
on a
sick.
goddamn patio. Trust, I had to walk. I'd have to walk through that to deliver people food and cat food.
Gross.
Where are my thumbs? 18 cats around me, and I don't like cats, to be honest.
I don't like cats either. Oh, look at that. See, look at that brooch.
Beautiful. Mother Superior.
Okay, her skin doesn't look great there. But look, see, I see she does have
They
a-
kept showing her
Oh.
legs. Are these guys leg men? They always did shots of the
Okay,
legs.
well,
like
now
that.
they just, I think here they're trying to show the floor and the disheveledness of the part because this is where she feeds the
There's
raccoons.
one raccoon waiting.
And doesn't move
There's
with the light.
another
There's
raccoon
one.
waiting.
Mm-hmm. Just like, uh-oh, here comes Edie. I hear her footsteps.
There's a modern day guy like this
The
who
Wonder
feeds
Bread.
a guy who feeds raccoons hot dogs on his porch online.
Oh, hell yeah.
And they have like 30. They just like climb all over the guy, and he's completely calm. I'm like, this is nuts. Look at her, just in
There's
there.
the book. She's
what
upset about the
happened
book.
with the book? Don't. Never mind the 80 raccoons.
Yeah. 80! Hear it?
No, Jerry hasn't knocked himself out.
There's the manicness.
This is so manic because she's like, Jerry hasn't locked himself out.
Who got this book out of my room? I cleaned this whole attic up the other
Yeah, looks pretty clean.
Yeah, she cleaned it.
Clean this whole attic
Dumping
up the
books
other day.
around is what I want to know. I would have seen that book.
Shut up.
Definitely it's been up in that room.
It's insane.
Anytime she leaves the room, her mom starts screaming, like you could just hear, Edie, you're too far from me.
She's wearing fishnets.
Buster, old pal. Come and get it.
I cleaned this room so I
The
could
mother's
put
still
a
yelling.
loaf of bread and cat food all over the floor. It's for the raccoons. You don't want it dirty.
Yes.
Look at this haunted house. This is worse than the Brigantine or whatever the hell it was.
A Brigantine cat.
Going in here,
Brigantine, New Jersey.
Rac-
I always say Atlantic City. 'cause-
raccoons
But
creep,
Brigantine.
creep me out.
My dad was a part of the New Jersey Beach Buggy Association.
What the fuck is that? You can't just drop. You can't just drop that. Like I'm like, oh, okay, I get what that is. The Beach Buggy Association. What is that? Please expand.
I can't.
The Beach Buggy. Oh yeah, my dad was too. Duh. Come on. What do you think I'm a loser?
That's the thing. New Jersey Beach Buggy.
You're not from New Jersey. How did you get in?
Brigantine. It's none of my business. My father did a lot of weird stuff.
He's like,
he
I'm
wasn't
using
even
a-
living with us.
he's
We
like,
don't know.
I'm using a fake address to get in the Beach Buggy
It was
Association.
the only time we hung out with him. He was like, "We got to go to the Beach Buggy Association party." Blah blah. blah.
What is
like,
it? They just
"Alright."
drive around fucking sand dune
Yeah, I
things?
guess my dad built a dune buggy.
Out of what? Typewriters from
him
his
and his-
store?
Him and his friend Macaulay.
Was your dad 15? What did he-
Macaulay's still around. Macaulay still does. My dad had a big truck like that, big blue, maybe Suburban was a big truck. And then, but he also him and his friend Jimmy Macaulay built the dune buggy. It was beautiful. Jim Macaulay still has it.
I mean, you get in the association. They're going to let you in some
It's
piece of shit
true.
dune buggy.
But Macaulay really works on race cars and all kinds of stuff. So
and he wastes his time with your dad on these bullshit
yeah, it
topics.
was just a buddy of his from the Beach Buggy Association. Look, it says it.
The
Beach
BBA.
Buggy. Yeah. Sometimes I think like, is that some kind of trauma that I had as a kid that I remember that? But it was real. It's real. Thank God it came up. I gotta be honest. Thank God for the internet to prove my psychosis isn't that bad.
I want a Beach Buggy Association T-shirt.
Oh, we had them.
Do you?
Oh,
Do you have
absolutely. I
one
don't-
my size?
Do we have them now? No.
Well, I don't know what you
My
guys.
house was like Grey Gardens.
Yeah,
We had a fucking.
That means you would still have it.
No, we would throw them out,
Oh, that's too bad.
or we get eaten by moths.
I was offended for
There it
Jerry.
is, there it is.
Oh, that's
You want one? I'll get you one.
That's
They have them
nice.
still.
That's nice.
Wait, is it still a thing?
I don't know, but I want in.
That's great.
It's
How do
still around.
Wow.
How do I apply?
Oh my God! You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna order that for all my brothers. They would
Order
fucking
form.
shit themselves. If I sent them.
They can wipe with the shirts.
That one I would
That's
get.
nice.
That's a
look
good
look
one.
how
I
shitty
love
the
color.
picture is.
Doesn't matter.
It looks like a tray.
It doesn't matter.
Who made this? Little Edie? That's the worst design I've ever seen.
Every one of my brothers
It's
would
slightly,
fucking
the circle is
freak out.
slightly off to the left.
Even my
It's
little
slightly-
sister Edie, the trauma that we endured at the New Jersey Beach Buggy Association is one for its own documentary. I gotta be honest.
I picture a local commercial like, come on down to the New Jersey Beach Buggy
And
Association.
the Kerrigans got kicked out of that one too.
What happened? You punched a buggy?
With the kids, we weren't allowed anymore.
But what happened?
No,
What'd you
just we
do?
pissed off my dad.
Oh, that was
It
a
wa-
family
it-
band.
No, me and my brother Billy, we went all the way out into the water, and we tied boats together, and we thought this was a good idea. We weren't paying attention. We were kids, and we had my little sister Edie and my little brother Bobby with us, and some other rando kids that we obviously kidnapped. We didn't realize that was kidnapping, but we were nobody could find us because we drifted out. But we were just jumping.
You were in the boats?
Yeah.
The boats were there, or you brought the boats?
Yeah, no, they were paddle boats.
Okay.
We tied them together, and we were just drifting, and nobody could find us.
So many of your stories, there's a lot of like elements that need to be filled in. Like there's just boats out there. Like why are there boats?
It was an association. It was a beach
Maybe-
buggy. association.
maybe
It was a
the-
party.
Maybe
Like
a floating beach buggy that you guys brought out there.
It was literally on the beach, and so because we were missing, my dad punished my brother Charlie, Johnny, and two of Johnny's friends.
Because they're the oldest. They should
Yeah,
have been
and they were
watching out.
supposed to be watching us, and so they were, and my brother Johnny's friend, two of my brother Johnny's friends, and Charlie. So they're sitting on the towels, and he goes, "Don't move." And Rosario, my brother Johnny's friend, goes, "Me too, Mr. Kerrigan." He goes, "Especially you." And he went. He's like going to find us, and he was getting in a canoe. And my dad doesn't have a bathing suit. I don't think I've ever seen him in a bathing suit. He had jeans and a button-up shirt on, and
That's what he wore to swim.
He got in a canoe to go out and find us, and it tipped.
Oh.
And they were all sitting on the blankets on the beach going, "We're not allowed to get up." So they left him, and they didn't help him.
He told us not to get up.
Even Rosario was like, "We should get up." And they were like, Johnny's like, "We're not allowed to get
He
up."
said, especially you. Don't get up, Rosario. What do you want to get beaten?
Charlie's like, "I'm not getting up. I don't give a fuck."
Your dad says a wet wallet.
It
You
was
fucking
awful.
you're banned from the boat. You humiliated me in
It
front of the whole association.
The whole ride home was brutal.
He's like, I may not be able to come back here for 2 years.
It's a 45-minute ride, in case anybody's wondering.
And your dad's soaked.
And he was beating the shit out of us. It was
Soaking
brutal.
wet.
Other people came and helped. That was the last trip. No more trips.
I was gonna say that
So I'm gonna get them that shirt for Christmas. I think that would be funny.
I'm personally offended for Jerry when Edie says that he's trying to fuck her to the mother.
How dare?
How dare who?
How dare?
Me or Jerry?
How dare Edie say that?
I was like, no one's trying to fuck you, lady. Come on. Don't. One, this is not a documentary.
Jerry was definitely.
Jerry's like a minor.
Jerry was
probably.
trying to smash
Her?
any of them.
Why?
The story.
No.
Come on,
He
that's
couldn't.
a great story.
Who could get aroused for either of these women in these
I
in
think
this
he
setting?
ate the corn.
He did eat the corn. Eating
And
the
then
corn
she
is,
probably sprinkled some sawdust on there.
you may as well eat their
Sorry
pussies
about
if you're
that.
going to eat the corn. It's that that's how disgusting
Same
it is to
thing.
me. It's not
I'm
much
with
of a
you.
difference.
Sorry, I didn't mean to give you a show, but
Oh, a
that's
little,
how Edith.
a little show for the
Edith,
cameras.
ooh.
The Maysles brothers.
I have a bathing suit on.
Hello.
Is that why I'm so hot? I have a fucking bathing
Did Robin
suit.
Williams study these women for Mrs. Doubtfire? It's a little similar. Hello.
Ooh.
I'm a babysitter. Woo. So she says Jerry wants to fuck her, and the mother's like, "Are you crazy?
Ooh.
He's my friend." By
He's
the way, he's the
mine, Edith.
he's
mine.
the mother's friend who's like 90 years old, which makes it even weirder.
80. She was 79.
This-
Stop telling her age the wrong
He's
way.
parking his BMX bike out front, hanging out with an 80-year-old woman in her
Every
bed.
time she would see Edith would see the bike. Jerry's here.
She'd be like, "Oh, the
She'd get
marble
mad.
She would talk to the camera. He's over there. He's back. I can't take it. I need to move to New York." One point she said, "I would live in a rat hole,
In New York,
a mouse hole."
better than
She had
this.
zero income. She had less than the mother.
No, she had no
Nothing.
work, nothing.
Yeah, nothing.
Because she tagged out. The mother got her so mentally dependent, whatever, on her. She tagged out of life. She didn't even try.
It says here the two Edie survived on $300 a month. Jesus, in the
Holy
Hamptons.
Shit.
That could barely buy you anything. Ina Garden's up in the Hamptons. You know who Ina Garden is? Hot piece of ass.
Really?
Barefoot Contessa.
Oh yeah, that.
She's she a cook or a chef? I don't know what her training is, but she cooks food in the Hamptons, and it's all like hoity-toity. Like
I had
an egg salad on these.
Yeah, it's not great.
And all
there she is. Old bangs
look at
herself.
Ina. Man, she's a piece.
Man, does Ina get you hot? Look
at that. Ina is hot as
Ina
shit.
Can't make a 7-Up cake.
Her husband Jeffrey. Her husband Jeffrey may or may not be a gay man. I'm not sure.
Is that Jeffrey there?
There's Jeffrey, yeah. He's always on the show.
Man.
He's like, okay. Oh, Ina, this is delicious. Thank you. Cooking for Jeffrey, a book by Ina.
They look identical. They look like brother and sister.
They actually do.
They actually are the same person.
Smile. Oh, wow.
It's her doing a character. That she superimposes it.
That's crazy.
No, he's always on the show.
By the way, I've heard of her. I don't think I watched the show.
Oh, I used to watch a lot of it. Just fascinated by it was the same reason I would watch this. Kind of the upper crust of like, oh, you can't not have the martini, like that sort of stuff. Like at a party, it's just passe.
This is new school because Edith was from the school of you can't look like that no matter what.
What, look like Ina?
Crust. Yeah, she doesn't look. She looks too common.
How dare you?
She's very common.
Ina is nothing. You take that back.
I'm sorry.
Look at that denim. Look at that beautiful Jay Leno
denim
she's wearing. I
hate the name Barefoot Contessa. I hate it. And I went to that place in Beverly Hills and I hated it.
Oh, she had a shop?
It's still there.
Oh, is it? Did Mitzi like it?
No, I had to go with my friend Lauren and her friends. It was so annoying. We're having lunch there. I'm like, what
do they serve? Like finger sandwiches?
Tea, those
tea
for two. You that? You ever do that?
That's
tea
what the
and
server.
Scones, tea and scones.
Yeah, I do that all the time. No.
Do you want a cucumber sandwich? Go fuck yourself.
Yeah,
I don't have rich people get rich because they don't put food out. That's
like,
how they don't eat.
You're like, I'll take a pumpkin bread with ham and cheese in the middle.
Give me pumpkin bread.
You're not a cucumber sandwich
pumpkin anything
type of lady.
Oh, I've been to so many of those little fucking things where they come out with the little plates, and they have the little just triangle sandwiches. Ugh.
There's a line.
That's not food, people.
There's a line by Edie which made me think of you.
Let me think.
She said, "If you can't get a man to propose to you, might as well be dead." But you've lived a couple lives according to Edie.
I can get them to propose. I just can't get me to close the deal.
They kept saying that Edie. They kept mentioning millionaires she could have been with. I couldn't tell if that was just bullshit.
No, I think that was real. And that one guy
proposed from the. She was in the window.
And mother ran him away with him. 15 minutes. How many times did she say 15 minutes? That should be a drinking game if you guys watch. That's a good one.
His name was like Eugene, like Miscavige or something. It sounded like the guy from Scientology.
Eugene Misgravens.
Misgravens?
Misgravens.
I think it was Miscavige.
I looked it up.
It's Misgravens?
Something like that. Gavin.
She kept saying he was 32. Too young for me. How old was she when this was going on?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
She kept saying
Tom Logan was the guy who died in the kitchen. That was the mom's boyfriend.
Uncle Tom. But
Eugene, I looked him up. I had it.
Well, there's J. Paul Getty.
Yes, that was a big one.
They kept naming him. They kept naming him as one
Joe
of the
Kennedy.
So,
and then she used to date Howard Hughes, apparently.
Wow.
And
who didn't?
Howard Stern. Exactly. Young Howard Stern.
Yeah.
Joe Clark, the principal from Lean on Me, that it was based on.
Mr. Clark.
Clean this house up. He just comes in there screaming.
Greatest movie of all time.
Oh, I love Joe Clark. Love it.
I can't get enough.
I've seen that movie probably
millions
when
of times.
When he's yelling at Sam's.
Oh, the best.
To jump. I loved it. And when he takes Sam's in front of the whole the school, says, "This is an example of a slovenly boy. If you wear these clothes," they're screaming at the guy in front of the whole fucking class. The whole school calls him slovenly. You want to kill yourself, Sam's? Do it expeditiously. You smoke crack? Look at me. Jumps.
Brilliant.
An unbelievable performance equal to these women.
Yes.
They show Edie eating ice cream with a fucking Baskin Robbins pink plastic knife, just dipping it.
No spoon.
No knife, just right
Just
in.
eating the ice cream.
Just with a knife. I'm like, what is going on here? Edie's cleaning the house, sweeping just trash on the floor, not picking it up, just sweeping it away.
It's being swept into the abyss because there's real nowhere for it to go.
This summed up this like their lives because she's sweeping the trash indoors.
Okay, indoors.
Like it's completely normal.
Right.
Walks away to put lipstick on.
Yes.
I was like, this sums them up. Like, oh, I don't want to look bad.
At one point, she goes, raccoons and cats become a little boring after a while.
Yeah, I was like,
She
what do you
needs
want?
more in her
do you
life.
want a mountain lion?
And that's when she starts sweeping. Her quoting Robert Frost was pretty hilarious
like,
as
oh,
well.
The road diverged.
2 roads. How does it go?
She's like, I wish I knew it. she wrote on her walls in markers, which is definitely a calling card of mental illness.
In the movie, she does a lot of quotes of poetry, and then they'll go, Frost, and she goes, Edith Beale. She's the poet.
Yeah, I saw her
So
sign.
good.
I saw how she makes signs. I can only imagine. The way she wrote on the wall, we had a customer in the grocery days who must have had a trust fund, but her parents obviously were just like, just have a place.
Just
severely mentally ill. So you would go there and I would go there and she was a woman like, I'm 6'3", but she was probably like 5'8", 5'9", 5'10", and like a big woman. I'm like, if she bull charges me, like it's gonna be a real fight. Like it's not, I'm not gonna, like I may not do
like you
well.
better square up.
Like I would always keep my mom, like keep the door like to your back. Like don't get turned around inside.
Right.
I went to multiple places of hers, all in Hollywood, all pretty nice apartments.
Okay.
And she would destroy them, floor to ceiling, shit written in like lipstick, like broken glass on the floor.
Oh wow.
Like so you would just like look on the floor and then she just like go on these tirades, start screaming at you about like, you can't be mental. Yeah, I got you. You're like, that'll be $15.96. So one of the new drivers went there and you would see her, like you would see who the name was. You could see. And everyone was like, look at the guy like, all right, man, good luck. And the guy's like, what? And you're like, good luck. It's the guy
Have
goes
fun.
there. And
Door to the back.
We heard the manager on the phone, and you could tell something happened. We're like, what happened? And the guy called, and he's like, she's yelling, and she just urinated in her pants. Can I leave? And they're like, yeah, you could get out of there. You can get out of there.
Without the pay.
They wouldn't blackball her. You would have to go back the next night of like, all right, let's roll the dice again, see what happens.
Oh, no. Maybe they felt bad, the owners?
I think they just wanted the money.
Yeah, but I'm saying like she already paid. Like
I think,
at
or
that
like,
point you just
or
don't
like
tip.
you were supposed to get like there's definitely no tip on that one.
Right. Like,
But like, yeah, they're probably just like, yeah, we'll figure it out. Like, yeah. So yeah, it was a little bit of my background.
Body Beautiful Beale.
Was that her OnlyFans?
I don't know. I guess so. Oh, she was known around town as Body Beautiful Beale. I knew that sounded familiar. And I had a steady following of beaux. Nice.
Ooh. She says she never knew what time it was. She asked the director. She's like, I never know what time it is. Because she was on the beach saying, should I make my mother like 3 good meals a day?
Well, she was saying she would be better off if she ate more regimented instead of like whenevs.
Yeah, and she's like, but I never know the time.
I never know what time it is.
It's so hard. She's like, what do you think? And the director goes, you know her better than I do. That was one of the few times he spoke.
Mother, yeah.
And then one of them said, this is concentrated like area. And he goes, consecrated? You could tell. He's like, I've had enough. That was a bad day for him. He's like, you're making me eat the food. I have diarrhea. I'm being bit by fleas.
I shit my pants.
Shut the fuck up.
This is ridiculous.
You idiots. So then they have the scene
but
where
they weren't dumb. They were smart.
No, you could tell they were educated.
They were well read, if you will.
They were
they
were well spoken. They had the company over. This is the well dressed older man and his lady,
right?
And who seemed like, what the fuck is
that
going
lady
on?
was frightened.
They put down the newspaper on the seats because they're so filthy.
She gave the mom the kitchen. That's when the mom goes, Edith, where are the goblets with the gold and the green?
It's like, lady, it's far past
stop.
that.
You got to let it go.
Did you see the sandwiches Edith brought down?
Yes.
They look like
what they serve at these fucking weird places.
They look like what my daughter would bring me if I said, bring me a sandwich. It looked so shittily put. You're saying it looked nice? It looked terrible.
No.
It looked disgusting.
I don't think they look nice at these places either. I think it looks like a little kid made them and they cut the crust off.
It looked like Baby Bar got into the peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah, that's how they look at these places. They cut the crust.
I was looking. I was like, don't eat anything.
And they
don't do it.
And they do.
This guy wore a suit to this. I would wear sweatpants and no
I'd wear
shirt.
A hazmat suit. That's the suit I'd wear.
You don't dress up to come into this shithole.
No.
You wear shoes you're not scared to step in cat shit with.
You wear boots like you're in a swamp.
You wear
them up to your knees.
You go to like a thrift store.
Like a beach buggy association boot. You put it up to here and you go in there.
You go to a thrift store and you're like, get me clothes that I can just wear and then burn when they're done. When I walk out stained and disgusting. So they bring her a cake.
The cake looked a little lopsided, and I wasn't sure if it was because they were nervous carrying it in.
I don't know.
She's like, it's beautiful.
I think
and I'm
that
looking
house,
at it, I'm like,
that house just warps things once you bring it in.
The smell depleted it, made it deflate.
This is the time I wouldn't have been shocked to see the cats on the table, like licking the while they're still eating it.
It was It was little bit shocking that they weren't doing.
Or
it.
the raccoons were like,
the raccoons
party,
just like this on the side, like, good. Did we blow out the candles? What's up?
She was telling the person on the phone, the cake is just
marvelous.
What does it say? They said it says "Happy Birthday, Edith." It's not hard to figure out. You fucking idiot. What's it say on there?
She was like, what does it say? And I remember thinking, what do you think?
The guests were saying nothing. I don't know if they were. No. I think they were just like, let's see the show. Let's go there.
Let's go figure it out.
Because the woman, this is her face a lot, was like, they'd zoom in on her and she'd be like, just you see the inner panic of like, I don't know if I can take it anymore. For some reason,
I had her as a relative, and it's all because the lady who called was a relative. But she looked scared.
They made a big deal that they'd never
horrified.
taken the phone cord into this kitchen. They're like, we've never done this.
Are you gonna move your chair? Like they were yelling. She's like, oh no, we'll bring it in here.
Didn't Edie start singing at one point during the call?
Oh yeah.
As the people were just sitting there.
Edie goes into it, man. If she feels a song, she just sings it.
They go, should we sing Happy Birthday? And Edie just goes, Happy Birthday.
No, she didn't even say happy. She goes, to you.
By herself.
She had started it and then finished it out loud.
No candles.
Yeah. She didn't even do the beginning. It was great. No candles, nothing.
This is where the psychotic 4th of July patriotic dancing just out of nowhere, just nothing introduces it. Just here's a dancing number. It's like a variety show.
That's the marching song.
Yeah, of course. But I mean, it just comes out of nowhere.
And when I do this, that's when the planes go by. And it's so good. I say the documentary's great. But I love the movie, too. And the movie had more information.
What's better? Movie's better?
I say the movie's better. Movie's better because there's more information.
Yeah, this is that you're left with a ton of questions. The documentary,
you're left with a ton of questions, but you're also, like, in shock.
Oh, yeah.
While watching.
It's one of those things. There are certain shows that make you feel crazy, and this kind of was getting me in that headspace of, like, I don't know if I can take much more.
Well, how much more could they have taken that when they were offered by the brothers to be bought out? We'll buy you a condo in Miami, wherever it was, somewhere in Florida. That's why she wound up in Florida.
Oh,
I think it was Miami because the brothers were there, and they were
like, brothers must have been like,
get you up.
They must have been like, shit, she's here.
And they would have been fine had they left. She might have had a life had they left.
Yeah, she had to get away from the mom, but she never did.
No, the mom was too controlling.
Mom just ruined her. And then that perfectly, she starts singing the song. They're eating like a quiche in a nice box. It looks like the Barefoot Contessa made it in one of their shithole rooms.
Maybe she sent it over.
And she's like, Edie, sing that song. Edie starts singing it. The mom just shits on her the whole time. She's, don't make those funny faces.
That's not how you do it.
She says, oh,
do it right.
And then she said, you're way off there. And then she said, nope. She said, no.
Nope. And you don't know the words. La 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 doesn't make the words.
And she's like, an F major doesn't fill in the words there. Or whatever it was, some note.
Yeah, it was like la 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 or something like that.
And she kept singing with that manic, like, ah. Just insane.
But it's like if she could get a rise out of the mother, she's going to do it too. Just to
This
piss
is
her
the
off.
scene where they're fighting, and the mom gets so upset she tries to get up fast to hit her with the cane.
Yeah, that's
Her
great.
titties pop out.
Now I'm naked.
Did you notice
now
that?
I can't. Oh, we have to watch it.
But the titties
Now
were
I'm
the
naked.
titties were so
Yeah.
overflowing that you couldn't even see the nipple because they were
But she
probably way
got up.
underneath.
Chased her with the cane. She was stepping on her nipples, I think.
That's
were
why
all
she
the way
stopped
down.
running.
Yeah. I can't go back now.
She got up and the top completely
Oh,
came
that's
off.
when she came down for the birthday party.
She hadn't been down those
Oh,
stairs
no, wait.
in years.
Is that the
probably.
birthday party
Yes,
there? Yeah,
yes.
because she has obviously the curtain tie is
She
around
got-
her waist.
She got dressed for once in her life. She's like, oh, company.
In the movie, this is fucked up. They're going through all this destitute, and
Here it is. The titties are just waiting to flop out of that thing. She's like, this bathing suit has no
wait,
back.
put the volume for
Oh,
a
look at
minute.
those arms. Look at the wrist
But
fat.
I don't want to hear it. I'm your mother. Remember me? I stood for your
Remember
movie.
me?
Well, my voice is beautiful and trained.
Oh, shit. No,
Beautifully trained, my voice. I never tried to attract men with it. I was sad. Easy, stop it. I'm going to get up. Now, goodbye. Like right in the other room with the cats where I'll be happy.
With the
I'm not going to take it. I hope my bathing suit falls off.
I hope my
Oh, there it is. Oh, yeah.
It fell off just then.
Oh.
Get out of here. You don't make me mad. Get out. You're making me really angry. Go out. Go away. Stop that.
Yeah, but they're
Well,
gonna
stop
photograph
it.
They're gonna
Stop
photograph
that
it.
silly nonsense. Quit it.
I can't have any fun. It's
Go away. You had enough fun all your life.
All your life
a
you had
minute's
fun.
Not a minute.
What are they eating
had a
on?
minute.
Go away. You don't look it.
There was a poster or something under there with mad writing on
That's
it. Mad
not a
Men.
bathing suit. That's
It's a sweater.
Horribly spoiled the whole
It's
thing.
like a
I did
turtleneck,
all
like a
for my
knit
sister.
turtleneck that she's
Oh, 'cause you realize no back to
wrapped
this
around her
bathing
waist.
suit.
there's no back
Oh,
to
I
this
realized
bathing
your
suit.
whole chest was showing
Look at these
out.
two
Yeah,
guys. They're like,
all
ugh,
that, everything
get
is
me outta
perfectly
here.
disgusting on account of you. You did it.
Look at this zoom in on the picture.
Everything's disgusting on the count of you. You did it.
And she just goes out for some sun tanning.
I think Mother's very mean to me.
I'm glad I stopped you.
Mother's
Thank
very
God
mean to
I
me.
will too,
I
sis.
stopped
I
her.
do several versions of that.
These two fucking fighting nonstop.
She put on the radio because she wanted to hear professional
Tell her
songs.
the voice. She can really sing that decently. Sing very well.
Not that song.
Better voice than I have. But not that song.
You're a great singer, probably better than me. Not that song. That song fucking
But she
sucks.
just shits on her.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then the cameras are near her, so she's like, oh, I better fix this up real quick. And then, no, not that song.
There's a scene where Edie's passed out sitting up. No, Edith.
Big Edith.
Yeah, and Edie's wearing
Edie.
that revealing, like her tits are almost out.
Oh, yes.
Like I was like, wait, where'd this come from? She's like, oh, mother can show them. Oh, look at me. That's what she's
Mom
talking
got
about.
a tit shot in. I'm getting one.
So she starts talking to the camera and doing like this seductive like dance, like one of her weirdo dances. And the guy, you can feel like, please get away from me, leave me alone. I was like, where did this come from? Out of nowhere. Yeah. So
Too
then
good.
it ends with the walls like completely destroyed by the raccoons at the end. Like
Yeah.
the whole wall is like out. It's open to the elements.
But you could see, like, that stuff was pretty cool at one point.
And then it ends. It ends so
It just
abruptly.
abrupt.
Just end like out of nowhere.
It's just like, all right, we gotta.
It's like we gotta get out of here. We don't know anything.
Now, in the movie, they do a screening of the documentary.
Okay. How did people react? in the
And
movie?
the ladies reacting. So the people that came out to see it loved it, but
Are they laughing? Like, what's the reaction?
they were just there was
Fascinated?
few laughing. There was few. They only showed a few seconds of it,
Yeah.
but it was basically like they made it a big night for Edith Beale. You
Okay.
actually feel for her
Okay.
in this. Is that the original house? How it looked?
This is it's been restored.
They,
Okay, because the blue is
some-
pretty.
They said, I forget who it was. It was some big media guy, and his wife bought it and like redid it to what it should be.
Do you think Logan still haunts it?
Yes.
The dead guy in the kitchen.
Yes. And they reenact a lot of these scenes as a couple.
I bet they're upstairs. Edith!
They're like, put your turtleneck
But
bathing
look at that
suit on.
yard. Look at that. Wow. Comparatively.
Yes. To the jungle. To
Holy
Jerry's jungle.
Shit. Yeah, because
Does
next
Jerry
door,
still come around? Like, hey guys, I'm back.
Next door, she said that was the garden that was like, in like Better Homes and Garden, whatever, like a critically acclaimed garden.
This looks like a house
literally next door to.
worth millions. They sold it for I think $200,000, but they said at that time was a ton of money.
Sure. Oh yeah.
But they were basically just selling the property.
Yeah.
And they expected the people to demolish the house, but they restored it instead. But I think those people, the husband died, and the wife said it was like, she's like, I don't want to be here alone.
When they went, oh wow,
Woo.
Shit.
Do you think the documentary drives that up? Because obviously it's like a famous.
Of course, because it's a thing. It's a famous.
In the Bouvier.
In the Bouviers. But my thing is this: fuck, you made me forget again, Jeff.
I didn't do anything. It's your
you
tooth.
did. You threw me. It's my tooth. But so what they do when they show the screening, the mom doesn't go because she can't. She's having trouble mobility wise.
It smells like cat piss.
But she goes under the stairs and she goes, hold on, Edith, because Edith is gonna go to the premiere or whatever in New York City. It's a big deal. And so she goes, hold on, and she goes under the stairs and pulls out this box, and it's like diamonds, necklace and earrings. And she goes, you've had this the whole time?
She's like, there's raccoon shit on this.
We couldn't eat. There was no electricity. No, her face is just. Drew Barrymore was terrific. She literally was like,
what'd she wear to the premiere?
Something as wild as this, but she put that on. She did put that on.
What happened to the brothers? Did they ever do any other directing, or is this a one and done?
The Maysles brothers. I think they had some stuff.
Their sister got into stand-up.
They do
on Amazon,
and maybe they filmed that. The marvelous Miss Maysles. It's their daughter, probably.
Albert and David.
Yeah.
Said they got poisoning from the food here, and they died of dysentery shortly after. Corn on the cob.
They also did Give Me Shelter.
Oh, Rolling Stones.
Yep.
Oh, they're from Dorchester?
Dorchester.
That's where my mom's from.
Well, because they were Kennedy obsessed.
I wonder if she knows the Maysles.
Dorchester.
My mom's like, yeah, I hung out with him all the time.
I didn't know your mother was from Dorchester.
Yeah, she's like a Wahlberg.
Isn't our favorite? Oh no, she's from Stoneham.
Yeah.
Stoneham, Mass.
Dorchester. At the time, my mom lived there. I think it was like pretty Jewish, but immigrants too. But it's a lot different now.
Jews weren't immigrants?
Yeah, they were, but
okay.
I'm saying other groups.
Asking for a friend.
But then now it's like I remember as a kid, she's like, I would take you to where I grew up, but I don't know if it's how safe it would be. I think it changed.
Yeah, it changed.
That's like so when Mark Wahlberg was there,
Mackie Mac,
and he stabbed that guy in the eye.
Yeah,
I think it was a different era of Dorchester.
Mackie Mac and I grew up pretty similar.
Wahlburgers? You have a brother? You give him a
shop? Know, my mom watched like something on the Wahlburgers, whatever, and she goes, "Oh, I should have been more like Mrs. Wahlberg. Her kids were successful."
Jeez, your mom's big. Your mom is Big Edith. Yikes! Welcome home, Eleanor.
My mom makes roasters look like shit.
Jesus.
She's out of control.
Mama Rickles. Leave feeling bad. So give her my number.
She'll fuck you up, Jack. You don't want.
I'm feeling too high on the horse.
Feel good?
No, I'm not. But
I gotta take this off. It's itchy. It's a sarong I put around my head for you people.
Got you put fleas on it to get into character.
Are we gonna play that Bill Hader
play that clip and then we'll get out of here.
I gotta pee.
He was walking down the street.
Hold on. I never know what time it is.
Vivi.
Broken
Vivi.
clock.
Where are you?
The yelling. Look, the great dance.
I'm downstairs. Vivi, the raccoon's back. Stop feeding it. I don't feed it. That's the whole reason it comes back is because you feed it.
No effort to make their voices feminine.
Look at his legs.
Get out.
Get out.
Get out, raccoon.
As he's feeding it like Lay's chips.
Get out. This is a police sketch of Mom. Her top fell off while she was walking down the street.
Put that away.
And this mother and children. I didn't realize it had fallen off. They gave descriptions of Mom to the police, and the guy did.
They like the titties falling out as well.
The guy did a wonderful job.
Beautiful exchange. Isn't it beautiful?
His rope
This is
around
where I
his head.
first learned to dance. I have memories of.
He just fell through the floor.
Go, 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 go.
This is what I imagine the crew looking like.
But just to get her on the floor, like they're not worried is she okay.
No.
They have to get the.
I fell through the floor again. It's because you stop. I don't stop. I'm always telling you. You got floor all of my lima beans.
Floor.
Look, I don't. Could you leave us alone, please? Get out of here.
She's just sitting in a chair in the
This
hallway.
is not your property. Here we go again. Finish a piece of bread before you throw down more bread. Don't do that. Don't do that. I don't like the country.
I don't like
Tricks my spirits. If you don't like it, leave. I was a wonderful singer.
Drinking alcohol out of a fishbowl, which they did drink out of weird containers.
It's just my heart. What does it matter? Dreams are dreamt and then they shatter. Pitter patter, pitter patter.
Lovely.
How sad the later looks. That's great. I gotta see that.
Oh,
They really
that's
captured
so
they
good.
captured the essence,
100%.
the spirit. You can tell they clearly love this thing and have seen it a lot. What they're discussing.
Quite often.
Would you recommend this? It seems like you would.
I would recommend it 1,000%. I also would recommend the movie.
At first like 10 minutes,
You were like, I'm going to kill her.
yeah, I was pissed at you. I felt like somebody recommended the documentary Stolen Youth to. I was like, what the fuck is she making me watch? And Courtney was busy doing other stuff. She wanted to watch it, but she was like, it's late. So she kept coming through, and she's like, what? She's like, I've heard about this. She's like, what is going on? And then she came back. She's like, no one has said anything for like 5 minutes. She's like, is it still on? But then I did eventually get into it. I would recommend it. I mean, if you like kind of out there stuff, it's definitely not like
out there.
it's not linear. Like if you're looking for like a linear story,
Right.
Like it's a certain audience, I think.
It's
for
not
this.
even close.
No, it's just a slice of life looking at insane behavior for an hour and 40 minutes.
It's like the Ding Dong Show on steroids.
Yes, an up
Yeah.
close, a behind the curtain look
Behind the curtain.
at the Ding Dong Show.
Behind the straitjacket.
That's a good title for their book or album.
That'd be amazing.
But there it is, Grey Gardens in the books.
In the books. Thank you. Like, subscribe.
Yeah, all of it.
Comment, whatever. Get on there. We got to get
Call
more.
Eleanor. Her phone number is.
Don't do it.
Oh.
No, we're not doing it.
Sorry.
Let me give it to you.
I want to do our classic docs ending.
That's how we end everything.
Docs, D-O-X-X, not D-O-C-S.
Yeah. Right. What's up, Doc? Thank you, guys.
Adios.
Adios.
Goodbye.